The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Some people don't like their jobs, boy. Some of y'all got to get up and go to work in the morning. Damn, how many sick days I got left? This is some bull. We don't just call out sick. We go to the bathroom and practice, don't we? Hello?
Lois, I ain't feeling good.
Peter, what happened to your voice? It's so deep.
I think I'm sick.
Well, you don't sound like yourself. In fact, you sound kind of hot.
I just threw up 2 chicken gyros out my nose. They're on your side of the bed.
Nobody likes to get sick. You know, if being sick were fun, I'd be sick all the time myself. Usually, before you get sick, there's a little period of time when you don't feel good. And that does come first, doesn't it? Finally, you just want to get it over with, don't you? Because almost being sick is worse. After all, once you're sick now. Everything's different once you're sick. People treat you nice once you're sick. You don't feel good. You're just a big pain in the ass. People treat you nice once they know you're officially sick.
Happy Wednesday!
It's showtime.
Happy Wednesday, she says. Yeah, same to you, lady.
Oh, I think she was being friendly.
My bad. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. We're still short a couple characters today. Ashley, Dana, still sick. It was feeling a little lonely around here. At least it was until about 10 minutes ago when we saw Janel Klein walk through the door. What the hell, did you get lost or something?
You know, here I am bright and early, and this just proves how much I love you guys and how much I love the brotherhood. When your alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning, you have weird thoughts.
Dude.
Oh, yeah. You know, and I already can tell the mistake you made.
Which is?
You got all dolled up like you normally would.
I think I would scare you guys if I came in here at 5 o'clock in the morning in my natural state.
You think so?
Probably.
We accept Janelle in any form. You didn't have to do that.
This is really cool. Yeah, this is really cool. We, just 10 minutes ago, we looked over and Josh says, hey, Janelle just walked in. I mean, hello, Jungle Jane.
Hello, hello.
Good morning.
What a thrill to have you show up at this ungodly hour. Woke up at 4:30 for us. We appreciate that a lot.
I don't know how you guys do this every day.
That sucks.
And you're funny, too.
No.
If I did this every day, I would just come in and kind of be quiet.
Would you be miserable?
Yeah.
Would you lash out at people?
Potentially.
How were you, or maybe I should ask Wapple, so you guys share a studio. Wapple, how was she when she walked in? The typical Janelle?
Oh, exactly the same Janelle. She's all bubbly and happy walking in. She's like, guess who's here?
That's awesome. And that's what I would expect, because we've worked with people who are so jovial a lot of the time, but when they walk in, they are complete dicks.
Oh, my God.
That's true.
Barely a word for you, kind of a grunt. They seem almost angry at you, like it's your fault they're waking up early. And you would never do something like that.
Maybe that's super annoying at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, though. Maybe you're like, hey, just wipe that smile off your face. Like, we're all exhausted here.
Well,
right?
I could see that.
I don't know. Maybe Wapple secretly is irritated with me.
Oh, I absolutely love it.
You probably scared him a little bit when you walked in.
That's every day.
He probably had to quickly close your Facebook page or something when you walked in.
Every single Janel Klein tab.
Oh, God, I love it.
Well, that's really cool. We appreciate it a lot.
Anytime. It's fun.
You heard we were lonely with all the sickness going around the building.
I did, yeah.
Ashley and Dana both still on the shelf.
You're a good friend.
Yeah.
To help us in our time of need.
Anytime.
You're probably not completely oblivious to odd hours the way you're always on call with different television stations needing your services. You probably know a 4 a.m. wake up now and again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When we would do, I still do sometimes, the morning shows. Usually I have to be there at 3.
Oh, I forgot about your time in morning television.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to tell us about that. You were getting there at 3?
Right. So when we, and sometimes I still do it. So it's not as often, but I used to do it a lot. And, if you do Good Morning America or The Today Show or one of those, you have to usually be there at 3. You probably don't go on the air for 3 hours, but that's so much, all the prep. But I'll tell you what, that does not hold a candle to when I used to anchor the morning show at KARE 11.
Right.
Oh my God, you guys. You know why? because you have to look good,
Right.
So
that's one thing we've always been thankful. So I get up at 3. I can't imagine being at work at 3, but I can. Sunday, I pick out my wardrobe for the week, and it's just a one wardrobe. I can't imagine you have to dress up every day, makeup, everything.
I mean, I remember, and there were times I would do it like for a week at a time if someone was on vacation. I mean, I never did it. I never did that job consistently where it was my full-time job.
But
was
you
just
did
like,
it enough.
I did it enough.
Yeah.
And the alarm, it was normally 1 a.m. And then I'm telling you, if you've never done this, and people listening will relate, right? If you're a shift worker, you work overnights, whatever, but alarm go off at 1 o'clock, and then you're in the shower and you're blow drying your hair at like 1:30 in the morning, right?
Your neighbors think you're a serial killer or something,
crazy, right? And then I remember being in my car and I would drive through downtown to go out to KARE 11, and it would be like people stumbling home from the bars.
Right.
And I would be like rolling into work, right?
People are still bar hopping
Oh,
around.
for sure.
It'll kill your social life.
Oh my God. As if I had one, but still, right? You get to Friday and I would like crawl out of there and literally just go home to my bed and not leave for the rest of the day.
Not move for 12, 14 hours.
How do people do that?
I don't know.
How?
Yeah,
So
the TV morning shows have it rough, for sure.
Oh my God.
So 4 a.m. is kid stuff for you. You've done way worse.
Compared to that, and like I said, it's not just like, oh, you got to get up and roll in. It was like, then you know you're going to be in high definition television, right? So
Right.
it's like every pimple you have, every hair out of place. You have
Yeah.
to really like try. That takes a lot of work as a woman. I mean, if you're a guy, like whatever, but
And from what we've heard, you guys get teed off on social media if you don't
Oh
look
my
absolutely perfect.
well, that's it, right? Like I wake up and have some big zit on my cheek or something and go, here we go. This is going to be,
All the beautiful people on social media who have never been in that situation are quickly very critical of your... So I guess I shouldn't say you've done worse. You've been put through worse than waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I have, but I still, and I've said this since the beginning, I remember like filling in with you guys a few times before I started coming in consistently and thinking to myself, not only do you get up, but you've got a long show and you're consistently so funny. Like, I don't know how you're this funny at this hour.
You got to stop it with all these compliments.
I don't get it.
I might become an arrogant person. I might become the kind of guy that pops off on the radio about how great I am. I don't want to become that guy.
You're funny. And by the way, for anyone listening, you guys do look good.
Do we look good?
Nah, you knocked that off
Appreciate
right
that.
this second.
No, you really do.
Right this second.
Well, I had forgotten about your morning television experience. So, damn. It had to have been quite a process.
I mean, we all know there are harder jobs, right? If you're an overnight
of course.
And I know you're not
nurse or-
complaining about the job.
No.
Of course there is.
It's just
we say that all the time.
There's like absolutely a bond though between people that have to work overnight and have messed up sleep. I don't think you understand it until you do it consistently, right?
Yeah. So were there nights when you just didn't even bother attempting to get to sleep, when you had to wake up at 1:30,
Yeah.
so F even going to sleep?
Yes, because especially when you're filling in, you never get used to that, right?
Yeah,
So it's
right.
like, I normally go to sleep at like midnight.
Yeah.
So how was I going to do that? And I remember talking to people who did it for a long time, like Kim Inslee. I don't know if you guys remember. She did it for
I remember the
years.
name.
She's great. I mean, she would talk about, like, especially in the summer, right? It's this beautiful summer night. It's 6 o'clock.
Right.
You just want to go, like, out on your deck.
Fire up the barbecue.
Right. Have a couple beers, like, enjoy the summer night. And she's going to bed,
Yeah.
right? You got the blackout shades. You got the earplugs. Like, you got your neighbor
Yeah.
mowing the lawn after work. and
Right. You're trying to sleep
going
through
to
that.
Bed. Yeah. I don't
You're like the Flanders kids on The Simpsons, going to bed before the sun goes down. Yeah, sure. Especially in the summer, because folks are outside and active until 9:30.
Yeah.
The sun is out. I've had a couple of fun moments where we're coming into work here at 3:30 or 4, and there's still, since we're right, as some folks know, some of you maybe you don't, we're right in the U of M area, University of Minnesota neighborhood, where we're driving in at 3:30 or 4, and there's still college kids kind of sitting out in some backyard drinking beer or walking down the street, doing the walk of shame. There's a contrast in lifestyles there that's kind of interesting when they cross paths. So this is pretty cool. So now Normally, Janelle pops in here around 7:30. Now you'll get to sit in and experience the full workday around here.
I can't wait.
So, we've mentioned this. You are someone, you're called all around the country for usually terrible or very dangerous stories.
Sometimes,
Whether you're standing out in front of a house where a family had the worst thing in the world happen to them, or you're standing on a beach somewhere about to be murdered by a hurricane.
Right, yes.
And you have a couple of phones. Do you have to leave your TV phone on at all times? Like you said, you get called last second, you got to jump on a red eye somewhere.
Pretty much, yeah. Because, not everything is last minute, but all that breaking stuff, right? Like where, oh my gosh, all of a sudden something happens. And they want to know how fast you can be somewhere. So, I try to be ready, which I remember, like, the one that will stick out for a long time for me was when Prince died, right? Because that happened right here. And I remember being at the grocery store, like, in sweatpants, basically. And the phone rang, and someone from New York said, hey, I don't know what's going on, but something in a suburb of Minneapolis called Chanhassen. And I said, oh, that can only be one thing, right? We know, living here,
right, exactly
what it was. And then, just literally drop my groceries, go over there, and, you're there for a week. So, sometimes it's that fast. And then, when it's out of town, then it's more like trying to get a flight or trying to get on the road, all that. Yeah.
What about someone like, obviously Prince, icon, but also a very popular singer, Scott Weiland, when he died here, was that another one where you got the call and had to go to Bloomington and
I don't remember covering that one. I remember hearing about that, though.
Oh, Christ, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
He died right here on a tour bus or something, didn't he?
Yep.
Yes, he did.
What about Eddie Guerrero?
Eddie Guerrero?
Did he get a call there?
Oh, I did not for Eddie Guerrero.
Darn.
Oh, that was very sad.
Yeah.
Speaking of Prince, didn't you go to his place one night and he sang you a song or something like that?
Oh, my gosh. That's still one of my coolest experiences, yeah.
I don't blame him for singing you a song.
Well, I don't think it was for me.
Yes,
personally.
it was.
I had no business being there. Like one of those things where you're like, okay, someone's going to kick me out at any minute. But yeah. It's
the Paisley Park late night after hour parties that we all heard of over the years when Prince was still alive.
Yeah.
I tried to go to one of those.
You tried to?
You couldn't get it. It was after his show. He had a show and, he invites everybody. He performs forever. And then he's like, all right, let's do this some more. Let's get out to Chanhassen. Everybody's invited. And
so he said this on the mic at Target Center or something? Okay.
Exactly. And so we just decided, I was a young man at the time, so I didn't mind staying out late. And I'm like, well, let's go. And we went. It was middle of winter, super cold night, snowing to beat the band. We stood out line for, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes and just decided, all right, we're never getting in.
Were there just thousands of cars?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was like we were halfway down the block and we got there like immediately. We left right away. Some of the people I was with are huge Prince fans and thought we got to go.
I didn't
even really want to go to the show. I liked Prince enough. But after I saw him, I thought this guy is one of the best musicians I've ever seen live.
Did he sing Jack You Off that night?
I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough.
I only knew the hits.
Janelle went to Paisley Park and you got in the door and he was singing love songs to Janelle. Tell us more about that.
Well, so how it happened, to Josh's point, and you said it too, Nick, everybody hears about this, right? It's kind of like this legend when you live in Minnesota, like, oh, my friend or my cousin or somebody tells this wild story, and I'd always be like, is this even true, or has it just become this wild story? Mine was a little different in that, as you guys remember, he was a huge basketball fan, right? Here's this guy that's like 5'3", 5'4", but like loved playing basketball, played in high school, whatever. And
he beat Charlie Murphy, right? We all know the story.
Pancakes, everything.
Pancakes, yes, go ahead.
And I have the NBA as a client, and so it was one of the years where the Lynx were in the national championship, and he was at the game.
Oh.
We didn't know. I was covering the game. I was doing my job, whatever. And then somebody from the team came and said, hey, guess what? Prince is like inviting the whole team out to Paisley Park.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And so we thought, oh, that's great. Good for them. They've had such a great season. This will be really fun for them. Didn't think another thing of it. Anyway, one thing led to another, and I was asked to drive some of the NBA executives out there. Because they were my client. So I was just going to drop them off. They're all from, New York, New Jersey. They don't know Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how this happened, but essentially we...
So still, the whole ride there, you're thinking, I'm going to drop these people off. I'm not going inside.
Oh, God. Well, I have no business being there. Like, I'm not part of this team. I'm like an Uber for them, right? I know where Paisley Park is. I'm going to help them out. And so I'm thinking I'm just going to pull in. And so anyways, we get there, and this guy comes up to our window, and he's like, give us your cell phones. And we're like, okay. And so we hand him our cell phones, and he goes, go park over there. And so we park, and I'm trying to explain, hey, I'm just going to drop these guys off. And like, he disappears.
Yeah.
And so we all go in the lobby, and we can hear him playing, like from me to you, right? Like 20 feet away, and you're like, this is like unbelievable. And so we just kind of stood there, and there was a person at the front kind of entrance. And, she said, who are you guys? And I said, I'm just dropping. These guys are from the team or from the NBA. And she's like, okay, well, I don't have you on the list. And I said, no, we have no business being here. Like, we're not on the list. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody came out around that time and said, hey, how are you guys? It's great that you're here. Recognized, somebody in our group. And the next thing you know, we were in there. And I looked at them like, I can't believe, here I was just trying to give somebody a ride. And the next thing you know, I'm at a Prince concert for like 50 people.
That's really cool.
Did he sing the song called Head when you were there?
I don't recall.
Okay. I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
My wife Prince is her favorite artist by far.
Did he sing Sugar Walls? All right. Sorry, Josh.
She's a huge, huge fan. I mean, she wears the Prince stuff. She had like a Prince decal on her car, all that kind of stuff. She's a huge fan.
Yeah.
And she went to Paisley Park for the tour and said it was awesome. Have you done that? Or maybe you covered it?
It's on my list. I would love to do that.
I'd like to go. I mean, she said that you can buy a package where you can check out the studio. I'd love to see, that kind of stuff.
Agreed. Yep.
This is great. We've got Janel Klein in studio right from the get-go. Like I was saying earlier, normally she doesn't pop by till around, 7:30 in the morning, but she heard we were shorthanded and was kind enough to help us out. Showed up right away before we went on the air this morning. And I was saying that, well, maybe I didn't say this out loud. I was just thinking of it. Our early morning listeners don't get to hear you. They're the early types, and maybe by 7:30 they move on with their day. So this is cool that some of our early morning listeners get to hear Jungle Jane. And this is great. Here's proof via the text messages that some of our listeners are brand new to Janel. Wisconsin Railroad Jesus has texted in with this question. Who's this dime? He says, sorry, Ashley, you're out.
Oh, no.
Manufacturing equipment maintenance technician Jesus said, who's the chick? Keep that sexy voice on your show.
See?
That's what you get when you have chronic insomnia. That's the voice you get of just no sleep, right?
Well,
that's pretty much it.
It's really cool that you showed up.
I don't have a name for this listener, but got a text saying that the show you're talking about with Prince, they were at the same one.
Oh, you're kidding.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, God, I would love to talk with them.
They're at the same game. Thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, you guys, he's such a genius, and here he was hanging out in Chanhassen. Isn't it wild? Like, we just kind of were all used to that.
Yeah, I remember hearing the stories.
Yeah.
You're the only person I suppose there was a gal I went to high school with who I used to hang out there now and again. But anyway.
I'll always walk with Elias. Jesus has done the general tour and the VIP tour at Paisley and said, I definitely want to do the VIP one. Yeah, I'd like to do that. Like I said, all the studio stuff, that fascinates me. It's cool.
I would love to see
We
it.
haven't seen you in the new year yet, have we?
I don't think so, no.
No, we haven't had you on the program since the new year. Is there any stories to tell about your New Year's Eve? I could tell some stories, but you go first.
I wish I had something exciting for you. Not really, no.
You didn't hang out with friends or anything?
I was in California visiting my family for the holidays, and so it was literally like go to dinner, and I mean, I made it until midnight. But there were no shenanigans.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, I made it to midnight.
Yeah.
My wife barely did. I think at 12:01, she's like, all right, I'm out. Just made it.
I'm done. Yeah.
Well, I almost made it to midnight. I think I got a ride home. I got into the beer. We did go out and hit the neighborhood bar, and I got into the Steve Weisers enough to where I needed a ride home. And I think my driver man pulled me out of there about 20 to midnight. So when we got into 2024, I was laid out cold in bed. But I wanted to tell you something. Not that you care, and I don't mean to embarrass you. but there were two separate buddies of mine who I don't see terribly often, who I did run into on New Year's Eve, and both of them asked me, who the hell is that Janel Klein, and how in God's name do I get her phone number?
How drunk were they at that point?
They were not drunk. And I said, back off. I'll give you zero information on Janel Klein. Two of my buddies, who I hadn't seen in a while, walked up and said, okay, you gotta introduce me to this lady. And I said, I will not.
That's no way to kick off the new year.
Oh.
Making a mistake like that. That's funny, though. I'm glad at least you went out. At least you represented us a little bit and had a, kind of an adventure.
Well, yeah, it was kind of an adventure.
I don't know. Do people do cool things for New Year's Eve? I always feel like I'm the loser that doesn't.
It's been such a long time since I made an effort on New Year's Eve that I don't know what people do anymore.
I was just thinking, somebody asked if I was going to any parties, which I kind of laughed at. And I thought, have we met? But I was trying to remember the last time I actually went to a New Year's party. I remember that being a big deal, going to a house party or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, huge.
I don't even remember, not even a dinner party with other old people. I don't remember the last time.
I remember back when I was younger, we would always go to bars and stuff for New Year's Eve. But
bars and stuff.
But even now, I feel too old to go to the bar for New Year's Eve. I feel like that's a 21, 22
you're not too old. You will be in a few years. You're not too old yet, Wappa. What are you, 31, 2 years old?
31, will
Jesus
be 32.
Christ, no, you're not even close.
Well, I bet there's young people and recent divorcees at a lot of those bars.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. It's crazy to me that people who were born in 2003 can now drink.
That's crazy to you?
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's true.
Well, it's crazy to me that people were born in, like myself, it's crazy to me that people who were born in 1971 are now 52 years old. I mean, that goes in all different directions.
Yeah, you're 3 years away from a senior discount at Cup Foods or some grocery store somewhere.
And some living situations.
Right?
I can't wait for that.
That's something that dawns on me every once in a while. I'll drive through a neighborhood and there'll be one of them new old folks' homes being propped up, and someone will tell me, hey, that's the new Blue Hair Motel in town. And then I find out that you can, you're allowed to move into a joint like that when you're 55 in some situations.
That'd be sweet.
God help us. That sounds like a wonderful setup.
Be nice to have one of those neighborhoods, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No riffraff. Up at the crack of dawn, Jesus said this is how sad he thinks he is. His 80-year-old parents went out on New Year's. He was in bed by 10.
Oh, no. Oh. Well, it's a hell of a deal that we got you here right from the get-go, Janel Klein. What day is it today? Wednesday. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be joining us at 7:30, and they'll be, I'm sure, very excited to know that you put in a full day here on the program. And speaking of all this time gone by and whatnot, we were just having a conversation. I wasn't really fully aware of it until a couple of nights ago. Josh and I were on the phone with the boss. Mm-hmm. This year is the 25th year of the Half-Ass Morning Show.
Wow.
25 years.
That's awesome.
In a couple of weeks, 3 weeks or whatever, Josh, something like that, right?
A month from today.
Oh, Christ, a month from today, it'll be officially the 25th anniversary of this radio program.
It just shows if you have a willingness to work for very little money in a struggling industry, you have some longevity.
You can pull it off.
If you stick around long enough, that struggling industry will evolve into a dying industry.
And we're right there on the cusp of death.
Many people way smarter than us have come and gone, but Cubby and I remain.
Do you
25
remember,
years.
We had a pact when we were young men. We started when we were young men.
Young.
I was just about 21 when I first started here.
Hair.
I had a full head of hair. Josh had about 3/4.
No, I had all my hair when I first started. It wasn't until I was 24 that I started losing.
Do you blame the show for that? Do you think this is what made it go away?
No, I'd like to, but no.
Can you imagine if we could? Oh, what a lawsuit that would be. Mm-hmm. You cost me years of ass. Years!
Mm-hmm. Modeling contract.
That's true. Can you imagine?
Oh.
But Nick and I had a pact. I remember us saying, again, our early 20s, we were looking at dudes in their 30s, which, of course, we thought was very old at that time. Even though, we were a decade away, but we still thought, wow, 30s. And we said to each other, if we're still working at a radio station, especially a rock radio station in our 30s, let's kill each other. We were going to blow each other's brains out. That was the pact we made.
We didn't want to be, these old, crusty losers.
That's what we thought. They were losers. And I guarantee you back when people wanted to get into radio, the young people that came in here, I'm sure they think the same about us. Or thought the same about us.
And how could you not?
Like, look at these old farts still doing that.
We've become the people that we laughed at back in the day. But it's been a hell of a run. And I'm sure we'll, I don't know, I think there's some plans to maybe celebrate in one way or another the 25-year anniversary of this program. We had a conversation with the boss, and he's working on this or that. There's nothing really to be said about it now. But I do trust that management will make an effort, because they didn't say a word when we turned 20 years old.
Nope. Nothing.
And we were dicks about it. We were dicks about it. We openly complained when we turned 20 and they didn't say anything. So they'll do something for us because they don't want to hear it all over again.
You know what, though? Speaking of this, you guys, think about this. We're meowing about getting up and being... You guys have done this for 25 years. That is a huge accomplishment.
Well, we appreciate that, Janelle.
I was 6 when this show started. I love when people ask me, they're like, so did you ever think you'd be working with Nick and Josh? I'm like, dude, I was on a bus listening to these guys all the time. No, I never thought I'd be working with them.
We didn't either when we met you.
Working for us.
Right.
Sorry.
I thought maybe you were going to be at that big championship football game the other night, Janel Klein, because that was a regular thing for you for many years.
It was. I'm really bummed about that. I haven't done it for the last 2 years. The contract changed. And so all of our same group that had done it for all these years are not part of it right now.
Okay.
So until the contract comes up again, but I don't know, that could be a thing of the past. There's a lot of people that want to do that. So yeah, I was bummed not to be there.
Well.
But what a cool experience. And this one would have been fun, I think. I don't know, just because Michigan, right?
Well,
Washington.
yeah.
It was a good game.
It was a close enough game and all that.
Yeah.
So there you go. We got Janel Klein in here from the get-go, and she's hopefully sticking around until the bitter end, which is pretty damn cool. We hope Ashley and Dana can get well soon, but no hurry.
And listeners are saying the same thing. Take your time.
Take your freaking time. Sorry.
Don't rush it. It's silly. You're not feeling good. You might as well stay home.
We got plenty to cover before we get out of here. We'll take a little break and come right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Dollar count.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right. Janel Klein's very first edition of the Stupid News. Janel has joined us right from the get-go this morning. Thanks again, Janel.
So happy to be here.
A lot of our listeners are very excited.
Well, that's good.
Some people thought it was like an old show we're rerunning. That maybe everybody got sick on the show, but no, you're just here early.
I'm here early, and for the first time, I've never been in from the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm. Your thoughts so far? Regretting it?
No.
So far, so good?
So far, so good. And now I hear the highlight, stupid news. Never been here for that.
Right.
It's very exciting.
We are excited, too, and so is our listening audience. Here are some inappropriate text messages that have come in so far on Janel Klein's early appearance. Local legend, retired wrestling referee Rob Page has texted in. He says, can a local legend get Janelle's number? Asking for a me. No, you may not. Sprinkler Fitter Jesus texted in to say, Jungle Jane, I love you. That is all. Steel Holler Jesus. Jungle Jane at 540, he says. Best day ever. And finally, this is my favorite. Manufacturing equipment maintenance technician Jesus sent in a picture of his pickup to try to draw you in. Josh, he sent a picture of it, appears to be his freshly washed pickup, in order to try to attract Janel Klein.
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Yeah, that's tempting.
His message simply says, does she like pickups?
I do like pickups.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
It's a nice looking ride you got there. Manufacturing equipment maintenance technician Jesus, but
we've got a very similar truck.
Yeah, you guys do. I don't remember the last time someone tried to use their motor vehicle to draw a woman in. Maybe high school. All right, here we go with the stupid news, plus Janel Klein. Drunk people are stupid. I'm not telling anybody anything they didn't already know right there. And some drunks can reach a level of stupidity that most of us can only dream of in a town called Marshfield, Wisconsin. Have you ever done a story from Marshfield, Janelle, in your television career?
I have been to Marshfield a few times.
If I'm not mistaken, she's about halfway between here and Green Bay.
I think so.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, like, somewhere further east into the state.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, like, Green Bay or like, over maybe by Milwaukee.
Yeah, I don't think it's that far east. But anyway, it's headed in that direction.
Yep.
The cops had a run-in with one of those next-level stupid drunks. The cops in Marshfield. Oh, they want to dump a fourth career DWI on a dude. They want to go ahead and charge him with DWI. The dude got so butt-ass drunk that he pulled his vehicle into the local police department parking lot thinking he was in the parking lot for the hotel he was staying at.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Boy, there must be some sort of incident here at this hotel. There's a lot of cop cars. I wonder what's going on.
Oh, man. This cute little moment took place last Thursday. This cute little moment took place last Thursday at around 2:30 in the godforsaken a.m. The cops saw a small SUV parked all kittywampus in a spot designated for police vehicles only. When the cops went out to the parking lot to see what gives, there they found that the vehicle was still running, and Dinkus, the driver, was out cold behind the wheel. We hear a lot of those, where the drunk he's able to throw it into park and then... My brother used to do that back when we were young. I just was thankful that he got the vehicle into park before the lights went out, you know what I'm saying? One of the cops knocked on the window and woke the dumb bastard up. This guy apparently struggled to even roll down the window. And there were empty beer cans in the vehicle. Old sleepyhead, he ended up spitting more than 3 times the legal limit for driving. And like I said, he thought he was pulling into his hotel parking lot. He pulled into the police department parking lot. Might be time for this guy to dry out.
Maybe the 4th time's the charm.
You think so?
Maybe.
The relationship between this guy and beer obviously isn't working out.
You're right, though. It's not anywhere close to where I said, but it is close to Stevens Point, home of Point Beer.
Oh.
Do you guys know what Point Beer is?
No.
I don't know that I've heard of it.
It's made right in Stevens Point. Maybe that's what he was drinking.
Point Beer?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a brewery called Point.
The Brotherhood's saying it's halfway between Eau Claire and Stevens Point.
Yeah.
Is Wisconsin responsible for Steel Reserve? Can someone look that up?
I don't know what that is.
That's an old beer. It's an old beer. I think it was popular at colleges for a stretch of time. Steel Reserve or what?
Coors makes it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was owned by Miller. So yeah.
Okay. So you're saying it comes from Wisconsin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Miller was originated in Wisconsin.
I'll go along with it. All right. Oh, I think you might have to be a local to fully understand the gimmick I have for you here. You might have to be a local to fully understand the bit, but I'm going to go ahead anyway and try to explain this one to you. In a place called Cornwall, which is located out there in England, Summers. in Cornwall. There's a wall that runs along a roadway over there that the locals call the Great Wall of China. I'm not sure why it got that name. It's not like it's massively large like the real Great Wall of China. I guess it doesn't really matter how or why it got the name. It's just a little wall that runs along a roadway. Locals like to be cute and line the wall with random items, I guess, just to kill the boredom of day-to-day life in Cornwall. Sometimes folks throw coffee mugs up on the wall, teapots. But everyone in town has taken notice since New Year's Eve because somebody upped and decorated the wall with brightly colored dildos from one end to the other.
Dildos? No.
In this case, yes, it was dildos. Just a bit of fun they got going in town. It's been going on for years.
They spaced them pretty well, I noticed, too.
The spacing was perfect.
Somebody took great care in doing that.
Like I said, it's just a bit they've got going in town. They've been doing this for years, but I think this is the first time that bright pink and purple rubber peckers have been featured on the wall. Now, this is too perfect right here. There's a comment here in the story from a local who drives by the wall every day. So he sees all the gimmicks. He's been seeing it for years. The local who drives by the wall every day and comments on this story of dildos suddenly being the featured item on the wall, the sumbitch's name is Mark Woolcock. Do you want to hear what Mr. Woolcock has to say about all this, everybody?
Can you spell that last name?
Sure. W-O-O-L cock.
Okay, and can you use it in a sentence?
Mr. Woolcock has purchased us bratwurst for lunch. Woolcock. He digs this. He said, I just love the wit and humor involved. Good, solid Cornish comedy, he calls it. I like that he's got a loose attitude about it. I do.
Aren't they? They're kind of known for that, right? The dirty sense of humor in England.
I feel like around here, sure, there'd be a few of us that had fun with it, but there'd be a number of other people who would be, just...
some fake outrage.
Inconsolable. Locals also commented on this dildo show with cute jokes on social media. One person referenced the old Pink Floyd song by writing, all in all, it's just another in the wall. Or on the wall. I'm sorry to tell you that the dildos didn't last too long up on the wall. They've been replaced by rubber duckies. Which is cool. Rubber duckies, cute, they're fun too. Rubber duckies are fun too.
Is this up on 93x.com, Waffle?
I'm just about to get up.
Yeah, I like their style, Cubby. I do. I would think that was pretty fun if I was driving by some landmark in my neighborhood and sex toys became part of the show just for a few days.
A little something different.
What the hell? Of course, Janelle's saying, I know what Janelle's saying to herself right now. She's saying, I thought I had to go back to Faribault to see all the dildos. No, Cornwall, England. That's where you go.
Mrs. Janel Woolcock. I can hear it.
I mean, if I played my cards right.
You could marry into the Woolcock family.
I could totally do it.
She's saying, I thought I had to go back to KARE 11 to see all the dildos. Nope.
You know what? The good part is he sounds like he has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right?
Mr. Woolcock?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy's, he's worth a few laughs. All right, maybe this could be a solid lesson for you folks. Who spend a lot of your time worrying and always expecting the worst. Cubby.
Oh, I don't know that that's necessarily. I do worry, but I wouldn't say I expect the worst.
Well, you are a worrier.
I am a worrier.
And I worry about your worrying.
Oh, don't do that. Now I'm going to worry about that. Please. I'm fine.
And maybe some of you are familiar with this here pretty English lady. We're hanging around England again for a little while longer. Maybe some of you are familiar with this pretty English lady. She's a model by the name of Abby Clancy. Her maiden name, her last name was Normal, but now she's gotten married. Now her name is
Abby Normal. Right. You're saying,
yeah. And like I said, she pretty,
very pretty.
Mm-hmm. She went off to see a doctor because she was convinced she was seriously ill, but it turned out that her jeans were just too tight.
I had a patch of numbness at the top of my groin. I realise now it was when I had these jeans on, they were so tight and they'd like stop the blood.
That's Abby right there, formerly Abby Normal, now Abby Clancy. She talked about this on, of course, a podcast. She was feeling terrible pain and numbness in and around her incredible groin area. And by God, she was convinced she had come down with multiple sclerosis. She even made an appointment to see a doctor who specializes in MS. And the doctor had the pleasure of telling her, after a thorough examination, that she was fine. It's just that her damn blue jeans were so effing tight, as you heard Abby say right there, they would cut off blood flow when she would sit down. My goodness. My jeans were about that tight back in high school.
Never wore tight jeans. Never once.
We were, well, it was the 80s. We were into the tight jeans in high school.
Did you ever get into that fad? Janelle?
I don't remember ever wearing really tight jeans. No. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't cool at my high school. I don't know.
Well, maybe by the time you were in high school, I think that the loose-fitting craze had kicked in. When I was there, it was tight. I don't know how we did it. I was so thin back then, though, it didn't matter.
Was there a comb in your back pocket?
I got a story for you. In grade school, there were times when I would carry a comb in my back pocket. In junior high, and I got no one to blame but myself on this one. A bunch of us decided to, junior high, a bunch of the cool kids, we all decided to meet at a movie theater one night and go see a movie. And I got made great fun of for this, and I had it coming. I walked into the movie theater with a brush in my back pocket.
A brush?
A brush.
Why?
Because I wanted to be able to tend to my long, gorgeous hair at some point during the evening. A brush. I have not. And as soon as people started busting my balls for it, I said to myself, what are you doing, you moron? Why did you put a brush? I mean, I couldn't even, again, and then you mix that in with the tight jeans. I don't know how I expected to sit down and enjoy the movie. That's just how friggin' brain dead I was back
Pulling
then.
A brush, curler, blow dryer.
Going to high school in the late 80s, our jeans, the ladies had looser jeans than we dudes did. But it was the rock, we wanted that rock and roll look, the shredded, of course, you'd loosen the tension by shredding them. Sometimes it would happen naturally, but sometimes you would do it on purpose. I've said before to Josh, and he knows the reference, a lot of us tried to look like Joe Elliott on the Hysteria tour. Def Leppard's lead singer Joe Elliott because the jeans were real tight but also beaten to death. That was the thing. That was the look that we all went for.
I remember when they started selling jeans like that, my dad just couldn't handle it. He couldn't take it. People of his generation, you're paying for jeans that are broken. Right. Why would you ever do something like that? We used to pin the bottom of our jeans. Did you ever get into that, Janelle?
I remember that from junior high.
Yeah, for me that was more grade school, but we did that. And then was the I Am Loved buttons a thing at any of your schools?
I remember seeing them maybe in junior
little
high.
Red buttons.
Yeah, I remember seeing two or three of those.
Mean? What's that?
I remember you'd get them there's like a jewelry store or something that everyone would get them at. You just had to wear these little red pins. I shouldn't call them buttons maybe. Okay. These pins that you'd pin to your shirt that said I Am Loved.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Right,
Did you use those to pin your jeans?
No, those not clothespins. What are maybe just clothespins?
Safety pins.
Safety pins.
Yeah.
That's what they were.
Yeah, safety pins.
I went to school with some kids who put safety pins all up the legs of their jeans. A lot of those kids were breakdancing enthusiasts. That was also in the mid-'80s. That was a thing, breakdancing.
Oh, yeah, we got into that.
So I think originally pinning your jeans or rubber banding the legs of your jeans, to be specific, was so it wouldn't get in the way of your breakdancing aerodynamics.
I remember in maybe 4th grade, we were so into it, and we thought everybody would want to see us breakdance. Who wouldn't? And we lived on a very busy road, and so we'd go right up to the curb of the street, like as dangerous as you can be for people that don't know what they're doing breakdancing, thinking, all these people, they're going to want to see this show as they drive by at 70 miles an hour.
You could have easily had a backspin come out of control and ended up in traffic.
Yeah, I could have wormed right into traffic for sure.
Back to this scorching hot missile of a lady, Abby Clancy. Again, she thought she was suffering from multiple sclerosis. In the end, it was just that she wears her blue jeans so tight that it was cutting off blood circulation and she was hurting in her wonderful groin area. She's going to be fine, but the doctor that she visited did diagnose her with something called health anxiety, also known as hypochondria. Does anyone know any hypochondriacs who always think that they're sick?
I mean, I know people who are always sick, but maybe that's manifested from always thinking they're sick. I don't know.
I have a friend from back in the day who I believe has undiagnosed hypochondria. He just always assumes, he gets a little pain in his shoulder and he says, oh, God, I think I tore my rotator cuff. He has some lower back pain. Oh, that's got to be kidney cancer. He's just one of those guys. You worry a lot about your health. But, okay, this gal's got it figured out. If she just loosens up her jeans a little bit, she'll be all right.
I definitely try not to Google any symptoms because it's always something terrible that comes back.
Oh, God. I've seen some terrible pictures online when Googling symptoms. All right. The cops in a town called Salinas in California, they've been having some laughs on social media by making fun of a criminal with very limited athletic abilities. Is this video possibly up on our website? We're so short-handed. Dana and Ashley are gone. Do we have anybody?
Yeah, all this stuff I sent to Ashley thinking she'd be here, so I sent it to Wapple this morning.
Yeah, just about up.
All right.
You're doing your best.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Appreciate.
You got it.
You're a good man.
So this low-life criminal puke bag was caught on camera breaking into a local business. And his performance on the video, I don't know about the rest of you who have seen the video, it instantly reminded me of Chris Farley in the movie Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
The burglar smashes the window of the local business with a hammer or something like that. He crawls through the opening, and then he cut loose with the world's worst-looking ninja roll. And his little round body caused him to kind of roll helplessly on the floor for a second like a turtle. And then he struggles to get back on his feet before running off to burglarize the store. This guy looks terrible.
It's funny the cops are making fun of him. It is pretty bad. It did not seem necessary, but maybe he just wanted a little flair on the way in. He knew he's probably on camera.
Holler at Janelle when you get this up, Wapple, the video, so she can see it.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't do any better. I'm telling you that right now. But I'm guessing this guy's 25, maybe some odd 30 years younger than me. It's really bad what he pulls off. That's just the worst-looking ninja roll, just like Chris Farley. The Salinas Police Department said online, no one said anything about having to be graceful when applying to be a criminal. They said the guy stole several hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise. Oh, I thought it said several hundreds of thousands. It was just several hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise. They're still looking for the prick. Don't bother looking at the local gym. I doubt you're going to find him at the gym. Kind of a little round character, isn't he, Cubby?
Yeah, he doesn't have the best build, but maybe he'll change that now that he's been publicly shamed.
Oh, man.
Are you showing it to Janelle, Wapple? Oh, it looked like you were showing it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not good, what that guy pulls off.
But you're right, what you said. Admittedly, I couldn't do much better. And it would take me longer to get back up, I think.
Yes, but I'm telling you, Cubby, this guy's 20 years younger than you and me.
So we've got an excuse.
Well, I'm just saying, when we were his age, we could have been a lot more graceful with it. I was a hell of an athlete when I was young, Janelle. A hell of an athlete.
Oh, I've heard.
1,000 beer league hockey points.
I can guess who you've heard from.
Pardon me?
I said I can guess who she's heard from.
Who she's heard that from? Yeah, oh, absolutely. Fake money. Fake money makes its way into the stupid news. Okay, you're probably not going to get away with spending Monopoly money. Someone's going to catch on to that. But I guess you can, at least for a brief period of time, get away with using fake movie money. Fake movie money. A 41-year-old guy in New Jersey named James Leonard has finally been caught after passing fake money at a convenience store. Apparently, wait a minute. At convenience stores. Oh, okay. Okay. I lost myself. They were talking here in the story about a convenience store and a bank, and it looks like he passed fake money at both of those places. He'd go in during busy times so cashiers didn't have time to scrutinize the bills. The bank wasn't fooled. The convenience stores were by this fake movie money. It took a while to actually pin this crime on this guy, but he was caught in the act. The bills were specifically designed for movie sets. Have you ever seen any of that in firsthand?
I have. Someone brought one in once. And it looks, if you're not paying attention, especially like the story says, I mean, if you're real busy, you're not paying attention, I could see making that mistake.
Okay. They do look a lot like actual currency, the story tells me here, but they do say for motion picture only in fairly large letters across the front and in smaller letters along the side. This guy passed multiple $50 and $100 bills before being caught. He's been charged with theft by deception and uttering a forged document. That confuses me, but I'll keep going anyway. Could you look up one of those fake bills, Josh? Could you?
Sure. Here you go.
Oh yeah, I would. If I were in a hurry, I would not notice that message, even though the letters are fairly large. The message again is for motion picture only. I could see if I was in a hurry, I would easily overlook that.
The only thing that surprised me is usually with 100s, you see them scrutinizing it, right? I mean, at least the time,
yeah.
Like there was a dude in front of me at a Walgreens the other day that handed him a 100, and the person first looked confused, like I haven't seen this in a while, and they were scrutinizing it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. When you pass 100, not that I see many of them, but if I ever have a $100 bill, doesn't matter where you are, they take a look at it. Okay.
But again, I suppose it's one of those things where if you're busy enough, just kind of slides by.
Mm-hmm. Back when I worked at McDonald's, we were even supposed to use a counterfeit pen on 20s.
Okay, how does a counterfeit pen work?
You mark, it looks like, the pen looks like a Sharpie, and you mark the bill, and then it'll change a different color if it's a fake bill.
Your marking will change color.
Yes.
If it's a fake bill. The mark you made with the Sharpie pen.
Yep.
Very interesting. So you would, did you ever encounter a fake one?
No, I never did. I didn't work the register much. Yeah, we have one right here. In the studio, a counterfeit pen.
Really? How do you know that? How do you know by looking at it? I mean, you have prior experience, but does it say counterfeit pen on it?
Yeah, it says counterfeit detector pen.
Really? What the hell is one of those doing in our... Because we're crooked bastards. Is that why one of those is...
Probably for the state fair.
Oh,
look at you.
F me running.
That'd be hilarious if everyone scammed us at the state fair. And we're stuck with the bill of just paying for all that merchandise.
We sold all these friggin' T-shirts and none of the money was real.
Record sales this year.
Good Lord. This place would come on court. We need that T-shirt money. We do. It's sad but true. We keep being told that we're doing well around here, but if we lost that T-shirt money, I bet they'd just close the doors. Yeah,
God dang, it's like, as bad as that would be, it would be pretty funny.
It would be hilarious. Don't even say pretty funny. That would be hilarious. That is so strange that we have a counterfeit, but that makes sense for the state fair.
I even have 100 on me. Let's see if it...
You have a $100 bill?
Jeez Louise, money bags.
Boy.
God, I hope it's fake.
So right now you're marking it with the counterfeit pen to see if it's legitimate.
Yeah.
Please say it's not.
It's legitimate.
Okay. That's how quickly it works?
Yeah.
You were taught this when you were working at McDonald's?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
if it's all good, can you see it at all? Can you see what you did?
Yeah, you can see a little tiny mark. Yep.
Huh.
Janelle probably carries around $500
Oh,
bills.
just that's all I carry.
TV money.
Yeah.
Remember when Ric Flair was here and he told us about that American Express black card he had?
Yes.
You could buy a jet with that. Just no limit.
Again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how uncomfortable did Ric Flair make you feel when you were in studio with him?
I mean, I don't think he meant any of the words he was saying, so it was low. 3.
No, you really seem to be having a good time. And I think you said that you kind of understand that old guy attitude where they get kind of frisky.
We were a little nervous just because we know you're a bit guarded because of your real job, right? You know, they don't necessarily have senses of humor sometimes. But yeah, when he was infatuated with you for sure.
That was actually really funny.
It was.
He was very funny.
It was fun to have him in, and it was so great that you were here on the same day.
It kind of reminds me of when we had Jason Newsted, former bass player of Metallica, in studio after he left Metallica, and I think he was promoting Voivod.
Oh, God, that's a long time ago. How do you even remember this stuff?
Oh, well, it's Jason Newsted. I mean, I was...
Jason? Okay, tell me about this, because I have very vague memories.
So, do you remember, this is back when we had money to promote the radio station, and at the time, we had a woman who I think was a porn star, or she was some model, and she filmed the 93X commercial. You remember the commercial? It was like, she's talking, but it's our voice guy's voice. Right?
She was starring in the commercial.
She was, yes. So they had filmed
Yes,
a
I
commercial.
remember her, dark-haired gal.
Yeah, very pretty, of course. And so she's in studio. We're talking to her about that. Jason came in for an interview the same day. We lost him. And I think they actually, I know, they left together. I don't know what happened after that, but and that was one of those things where he was so drawn to her like Ric Flair was to you.
Yeah, so he barely paid attention to the interview because he was just staring and hitting on this gorgeous model.
Yeah, and I don't think it was on purpose. I just think he was mesmerized.
Yeah, he couldn't help himself. Yeah, she was very pretty.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
All right, before we get out of here, it's time to get to work, America. Especially American women. Because Canada's got one up on us now. A Canadian gal, or as they call Canadian women up there, a Sheila.
God, sometimes I think you got to look a couple things up, but go ahead.
A Canadian woman by the name of Lulu Lotus. Lulu Lotus. I wonder if that's a real name. Who cares? She just whistled her way into the Guinness World Records by setting a new world record for the loudest nose whistle.
It's not as impressive when you hear it on the radio. I think for whatever reason our compression kind of kills it, but this is the record. I mean, that's a nose.
Dude, that's incredibly loud.
That like hurts my ears.
I know.
Maybe my hearing's bad. I was disappointed.
Oh, I think that's impressive.
Yeah, I think it is.
You know, our friend Ashley has a pretty good nose whistle, and she doesn't realize it because she'll rest her nose on the microphone, right? A lot of times. And so she's sitting there breathing. Wapple and I are staring at each other like, are you hearing this? Her nose whistle.
It's probably why she's sick all the time, that she's always resting her wet parts on the microphone.
Yeah, these mics are probably pretty gross.
Good Lord. Her nose whistle, this gal, what you just heard, that's 44.1 decibels, which they say here is as loud as a bird call. That was pretty loud. And so that's the Guinness World Record for a women's nose whistle. She says she learned she could nose whistle at a very young age, played pranks on teachers and classmates at school. She can also whistle songs through her nose.
That's crazy. I wouldn't even be able to make my nose whistle just on its own, much less singing a song.
I'd end up, blowing disgusting things all over the table, But there you go. We need to get this record in America. Her 5-year-old son just found out he can do it too, so she says it would be great if he broke her record someday. Isn't that adorable? We could go. What is that now?
That's an old coworker of ours whose name you don't like said on the radio.
No, I hate it.
That was the loudest nose whistle I've ever heard.
I hate it when it's said on the radio.
Here's Ashley's.
Dad, that's so bizarre. We could get into whistling. Maybe we can cover it later. I've got more whistling information here for you. But just so you know, the nose whistling record for women has been established by a Canadian Sheila. Yes, Wapple.
You can check it out online.
Nice. Do you mean 93x.com?
Yep, we got everything up.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Here's your video game update. If you were like me and watched the NCAA championship to the bitter end, then you probably went to bed disappointed. Not just because Michigan won the game, but because EA Sports completely misled all of us. They said that we should stay tuned to the game on ESPN for an update on the highly anticipated NCAA football game. We thought it could be a release date, maybe even a trailer, but nothing happened. Now we're just left with even more questions and pissed off fans on Twitter. Either way, it was a great marketing tactic to create buzz for the video game and also the NCAA championship game. The sales reports are out, and there's a king being crowned for most selling video game of 2023. Some of you might think it's Call of Duty, but you'd be wrong.
Changing back.
Rejoice, nerds. It's Hogwarts Legacy. The game has sold over 22 million copies worldwide, with 2 million of those copies being sold in just December. It's not just the best-selling console game. Hogwarts Legacy is the best-selling game in the entire video game industry. Listen here for more video game updates. Expelliarmus.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Outrageous. What happened tonight, this is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this. 23 free throws for them, and we get 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. Like, how to play the game. I understand respect for all stars and all that, but we have star players on our team as well. How's possible is Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force and trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get foul calls. He gets 2 free throws for the whole game. How's that possible? How are you going to explain that to me? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. Just give them a win. That was not fair tonight. And this is not happening first time for us. Scotty Barnes is going to be all-star. He's going to be the face of this league. What's happening over here during whole season, I've been holding it back. It's a complete crap.
I don't know who that was, but I'm in love with him.
Darko Rajakovic, I think is how you pronounce his name, the Raptors coach. He thought that the refs were favoring the Lakers, and he was obviously not having it.
Dude, that's beautiful. I agree.
His delivery is so good, too.
His delivery's great. I agree with every damn thing he says. I love the NBA. I effing love it. But I'm at my wit's end with the refereeing. I am. I'd love to sit here and say, you know, those guys, those referees, they're the best in the business. That's why they earned a job with the NBA. I can't say that with a straight face. It drives me friggin' nuts. It does. Dude, I could listen to that all day. Speaking of the NBA, the Wolves more or less put the pump down on their Orlando Magic there in Florida last night. They won by a final of 113 points to 92. Anthony Edwards did not have a great game by any stretch of the imagination, but they won despite that. Carl had a great game. Rudy had a great game. We can get more into that very shortly. Well, in about a half hour when Randy Shaver shows up. Janel Klein is already here. In case you're just tuning up, or tuning in is how you say it. In case you're just tuning in, Janelle showed up at 5:30 to spend the whole day with us.
You're a good friend.
Because I can't get enough.
And we can't get enough of you. And our listeners, a lot of our listeners are trying to impress you this morning in hopes of getting your phone number in trade. They've sent pictures of their pickups to try to impress you.
Yeah.
They've done. Here's one for you. John Deere Jesus, trying to get your phone number, Janelle, has sent in an adorable picture of his 2 corgis. Is that going to be enough?
I do love dogs.
I told him I'd give him my number.
For those 2 corgis.
For those 2 corgis.
Yeah.
So, you do love corgis.
Look at him sitting on the couch there, Cubby.
Some gentlemen have sent in pictures of their tattoos. Does that do anything? You know what we need? We need some, and I know there's plenty that listen, and we're honored to have them listen. We need men in uniform to send us photos of themselves.
Yes.
Hey, has Janelle seen my tattoo? That's good.
What are the tattoos of?
Yeah, what are they? I didn't see any tattoos.
Texas Carpenter Jesus set one of his 420 on his neck. Remember he told us about that?
Oh, he's dialed into the 420 movement. Those are the fellas you want to get to know. Those 420 guys. All right, we got to get going. What was I saying? The Wolves won. The Pigs and Stars play tonight in Texas. Second half of a home-and-home type of deal for the two hockey clubs. Again, when Randy Shaver... Oh, it's Wednesday, so Brad Ryder, I think, will also be joining us in a half hour. We can get into all this nonsense. We'll be back in a minute with Josh's news report.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
It was initially reported previously to the school that there was possibly something going on. They had looked into it and found nothing to give them reason to believe that that was true. Whereas in this case, there was more details able to be provided as well as locations and stuff like that, which is why they called us to come do the investigation.
Uh-oh. A teacher in Missouri is facing some charges after she got busted for having sex with one of her students, a 16-year-old boy. And in a strange twist to the story, the student's father was also arrested because he admitted to investigators he was aware of the relationship, reportedly saying, "I may as well let it happen." Police began investigating December 7th when a high school student came forward to report illegal sexual activity between another student and a teacher, 26-year-old Haley Clifton Carmack. Investigators said the victim showed them photos of scratches on his back. Said it happened while he and the teacher were having sex.
I'll be damned.
In his driveway.
Driveway?
The teacher had reportedly gotten in trouble before for being, quote, too close with students and was known for wearing low-cut shirts and tight leggings. She also discussed with students in intimate detail previous sex acts with her ex-husband.
When we got into the phones, we found Snapchats between her and the student that did, in fact, lead to believe that there was a relationship going on based off the context of the messages.
The father said he knew his son and the teacher had used students as lookouts when they had sex during school and said he may as well let it happen.
I received a call from the SRO back on December 7th about a possible relationship occurring between a teacher and a student at the school there. One confidential witness that came forward and spoke to me about it did state that Miss Carmack had confided within another individual that there was possibly instances of them using students as lookouts.
The teen also reportedly said, the father also reportedly said he was willing to lie to cover it all up. Prosecutors charged the dad last week with endangering the welfare of a child. He faces between 3 and 10 years in prison if convicted.
Really?
As for Clifton Carmack, she was arrested in Texas, where she allegedly fled following the investigation at her school in Missouri.
I mean, we've seen plenty of these wacky-ass teachers who are just, obviously there's something wrong with them, where they're banging students. But this is the first time I remember this supportive, almost supportive dad twist being a part of the scene. You know what I mean?
That's actually why I tossed this story in because, right, like you said, it's crazy how many stories come out about teacher-student relationships. I mean, it must have been happening when we were kids. We just didn't know about it, right?
Yeah, very likely.
I mean, it can't be like a new thing. It can't be something in the water or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, probably just, who knows why we didn't hear about it more often when we were young. But was this dad, I mean... is he one of these, guys who was just kind of pumped that his son was getting some kind of a guy? Or
I don't know. He just felt like, well, what can I do? They're going to do whatever they want. That was kind of his attitude.
It's creepy stuff.
A Missouri Catholic priest was found guilty of soliciting sex from a parishioner during a confession.
Oh, my damn.
I guess he wanted to confess something. I've got a real hankering to bone you.
So they get into that little confessional booth, and then they started getting fresh with each other?
Hey, Father, I've done some bad things. Oh, yeah? Like what? Because I've got an idea of a couple bad things.
Oh, my goodness.
Father Ignacio Medina, a priest with the Diocese of Jefferson City, is barred from holding any church office, celebrating Mass to the public, or hearing confessions from parishioners effective immediately after the church found him guilty. I want to be clear. Sexual solicitation during confession is sacrilege, a crime in our church, and a grave form of abuse. It cannot be tolerated, the bishop said. He said he launched an investigation into the defamed priest after receiving a report through the Diocese Abuse Hotline. There's a hotline, I had no idea.
The Diocese Abuse Hotline.
In April of 2022.
Wow.
2 rosaries and 1 BJ. That's your penance right there.
Wow.
A Massachusetts woman is accused of trying to poison her husband with soup. And police say somebody pretending to be a soap opera star convinced her to do it.
Someone pretending to be a soap opera star.
Yeah. Roxanne Doucette claims the soup was simply old. She didn't poison it.
I've never, ever tried to poison him in any way whatsoever. I love him very, very much, and I would never try to kill anyone.
But things took a bizarre turn when she called 911 and her 73-year-old husband, Paul, was rushed to the hospital. That's where the couple was met by their daughter, who was suspicious and began to examine her mom's phone. According to court documents, there are messages on that phone from a scammer claiming to be a soap opera star who wanted to hook up with her.
Oh, boy.
One message from the person said, "You have to get rid of your husband, honey. I need you so much."
Wanted to hook up with this old lady.
That's right. Court documents say she eventually... and she believed it. Yes.
And they actually said, "I love you so much."
I need you so much.
I need you so much. Okay. Oh, boy.
Believe it or not, it was a scam. Court documents say she eventually wrote back, "Making an amazing soup, special potion. Maybe I could collect life insurance." Her 73-year-old husband was barely conscious when first taken to the hospital, but thankfully survived. When police tried to take her phone as evidence, Roxanne allegedly fought and kicked them. For that, she's charged with resisting arrest and assaulting an officer. Despite the evidence, the Townsend police chief is urging the public against any rush to judgment.
I just tell everybody to just kind of take a step back, take a deep breath, think things through before you spread things or before you think you know what's going on. Sometimes it's a little bit more complex than it seems.
I understand all that, but I got a pretty good idea what's going on.
I mean, that's a strange text message to send, this supposed soap star. A limited toxicology test on the husband came back negative, but even so, Roxanne is now under court order to stay away from her husband.
Can you believe that, Janel Klein?
I mean, if you're going to take advice, do it from a soap opera star.
One you've never met.
Yes. Well, just an anonymous person online.
Right.
Yeah, that's who you confide in.
You know, sometimes relationships, they end poorly, like this one in history. 30 years ago today, January 10th, 1994.
I sprung up in a silent scream and holding myself, and I couldn't stop bleeding. I thought it was something out of a horror movie.
Oh, I know what this where we're going with this.
Lorena Bobbitt went on trial in Manassas, Virginia on this day. She had cut off her husband's wiener with a kitchen knife while he slept.
She did.
And then tossed it out of her speeding car. Police found it and doctors reattached it.
Initially, the story was sort of local news, kind of like a freak occurrence, but it became a sensation, and quickly.
She was acting on irresistible impulse.
The organ was successfully reattached after a 9-hour operation. John Bobbitt's doctor says his patient could still face life as a sexual cripple.
This was the story that everybody was on.
I'd like to comment, but I can't.
It touches every single Shakespearean theme: love, lust, betrayal, conflict, drama, and this had it all, including violence.
Lorena was acquitted of assault by reason of insanity.
Oh, you couldn't cross the street back in those days without hearing an update on that story. And did that lady just call him a sexual cripple?
I was just going to say that.
Sure
like,
did.
what?
Sure did.
Do you remember that? You remember that story, Janel Klein? It was everywhere.
I don't remember much about it. And I
Probably too young.
Yeah, and I don't remember. Oh. So he said, what did they say? She got off for insanity? So she just walked?
I don't remember. Is that what happened there, Josh?
Apparently they let her off. I don't know if she had any punishments. But she was found not guilty by the reason of insanity.
Where do you think he is right now, and how is he doing?
Well, he got into porn.
Yeah, he made a porno.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Yes, I saw it.
Oh, you did?
I don't know how many movies he made. I know at least he made one because, like I said, this effing story was everywhere. It was horrible. It was hilarious. It was everything. And fast forward, I don't know how long, but the dude decided to cash in to a certain extent on his fame and make a porno movie. Once they tied a new dong on him, they gave a couple extra inches to him.
I was just going to ask if nowadays they'd have that technology. I would request it on my deathbed there.
They did him a favor, maybe out of sympathy, and they packed a little extra heat in there for him. And then he decided to do some porn movies. And so, I don't know, it was a year after the whole schmear happened, I was at a house party and someone pulled out the John Bobbitt porno movie. And we watched it for a little while. It was very strange.
Do you remember what it was named?
It might occur to me after a stretch of time.
Maybe you could Google that.
Yeah, someone Google it and I could tell you if that's the one.
John Wayne Bobbitt Uncut?
That's it.
That's a lame title. They should have went with like Frankenwiener or something.
I think that's already a thing.
That was already a thing.
Yeah, there's been Frankenwiener.
There already was a Frankenwiener franchise in the porn industry, Wapple. I think John Bobbitt Uncut is very clever.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
What the hell's the matter? Who do you think you are? But anyway, it was... What I remember is that the operation, and this is a long time ago, like Josh said, there's been advances, his package looked to be painful to carry around. It looked like the operation was a failure to me. I remember feeling, almost sympathetic pains just looking at it. It didn't look good. It looked unhealthy.
But I haven't seen it. But, that was a long time ago, too. I bet nowadays they can make it improved.
Oh, make it look...
You have a super penis.
Look real pretty, yeah.
Employees at a bar in North Richland Hills, Texas, tackled the person who went on a stabbing spree outside that bar. Thankfully, he was stabbing patio furniture and not people. The police department said officers initially responded to a stabbing call at 12:45 a.m. When they got to the scene, they came in contact with a person who had been slashing tires and patio furniture in the parking lot outside of a bar called The Hideout. According to police, the person had been tackled by employees who then took away the knife and held him until officers arrived. No one was injured. But apparently the patio furniture was absolutely destroyed.
Some dude just having a meltdown.
Yeah, they don't know if it was drug-related or just some sort of mental break. After observing a Nissan Altima allegedly drive in the oncoming lane of traffic and go 63 in a 40, a New Jersey police officer pulled the car over.
The reason I'm stopping you, you're doing 63 in a 40.
It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
And then you were driving in the opposite lane.
I'm so sorry.
The driver, a woman all dolled up after going on a dinner cruise in New York City, claims to be a pharmacist and to have only consumed 2 glasses of wine earlier that evening. But considering how she struggled with her ABCs, police began to wonder about both those claims. There are 26 letters in the English alphabet, but somebody should tell her that. Reciting them is something a small child can do, thanks in large part by learning that catchy old song. This woman, however, who if truly a pharmacist would have had more schooling than most, she truncates it down to just a few letters.
Did you graduate high school?
From pharmacy school, yes.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So you know the alphabet then, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just recite it from the letter A to the letter Z straightforward without singing it?
A to what?
Z.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I, W, I, Y, and Z.
Not ready to admit that maybe she drank a bit more than just 2 glasses of wine, she claimed she couldn't recite the alphabet because it's been so long since you last recited it.
Wait. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Hold on. Damn, I haven't done this ABC for a long time.
She doesn't appear to do all that much better on other field sobriety tests, so she was arrested. On a side note, the woman's parents are riding in the car with her, and both appeared to be sober, so they're not sure why the parents didn't drive.
What?
What the F?
I forget, Wapple, did I send that to you?
Yes, you did.
Did you post it?
I will.
You're the man.
Her parents are sitting right. What the hell's going on here?
It's Janelle's headphones.
Oh.
You just got to watch it when you put your
Don't go
ear
too
next
close.
To it. It just when you put your ear next to it,
Yeah.
it's picking up the headphone.
It's like we're a cover band getting ready to play a bar gig. Or
You guys are
something.
never going to let me come back.
No. That her parents are in the car with their daughter as she's going through this process.
Yes.
And they appear to be sober.
Police said they were sober.
Can you imagine? And then your parents are watching this whole thing from the back seat or what? I mean, what is going on?
That's brutal. Wapple thought it was bad that his folks could watch his DWI through their picture window because he got pulled over right in front of the house. In this case, the folks are right there in the car.
Yeah, Mom and Dad, take that. What if you were in the car with me?
And I'm telling you this, I mean, maybe they're just not a drinking family. You know what I mean? Where her folks can't even tell when she's gooned. I mean, I come from a drinking family. We can tell when each other are troubled, you know. Who knows what the hell. That's between that and the dad who approved of his son having sex with his teacher, we got some real characters so far this morning.
Well, I mean, if the parents are in the car, she's driving in the wrong lane. Wouldn't that be a clue that, hey, you need to pull over?
They're screaming for their lives, maybe. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe they were. Oh, man, we're running so late. Well, this is good. That'll make it an easy prep day for me for tomorrow. We got a lot of...
You can tell these stories tomorrow, Josh.
I got a lot of stuff here. A lot of good stuff.
It's always tomorrow.
Police in Australia have a Sydney teen to thank for capturing numerous driving offenses on his dash cam. That led to charges for each of the offenses the teen caught on camera. But unfortunately for the young man, the nearly 50 driving offenses he caught on his camera were all his. Marcellus Otero was arrested in December and faced a court for the first time on Tuesday after being hit with nearly 50 driving-related charges. And in court, the teen vowed to no longer, quote, drive like an idiot after a car crash led police to uncover what they called a plethora of alleged driving offenses on his dash cam. They found at least 48 separate offenses from November and December alone. He's accused of driving under a suspended provisional license, doing burnouts, driving negligently, recklessly, or furiously, street racing, and at times driving over twice the posted speed limit. To his credit, he is taking responsibility. I've got to stop driving like an idiot, he said. I'm thankful I didn't hurt anyone. Outside court, he thanked police for teaching him a lesson about safety on the roads.
He'll be back. He was recording all this just to be cute on social media?
Well, no, I don't think social media. He just had a dash cam, right, that was recording everything. So maybe he did revisit it for his own pleasure, but it just happened to be on there. They were checking it just to see what happened in the car accident.
Oh!
And then they found all these other things on there.
My damn.
A week from Saturday, the Drop Shot Cancer event benefiting the Randy Shaver Cancer Research and Community Fund will take place at Drop Shot Pickleball in Shakopee. It'd be awesome if you could join us, Janelle.
I actually do want to see this.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get out there and show everybody how it's done.
Well,
Were you not invited to play, Janelle?
I wasn't.
What?
That is a crime against humanity.
I think Randy's mad at me because I gave him a run for his money on dad fights.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I think he's holding a grudge.
He's very competitive. I'm disappointed. But I'm sure you could walk on into this event and know. I think you should be playing.
I'm going to call Roseanne. I'm going to go around him.
Maybe you could sub in because Nick and I, for some reason, are playing.
Yeah.
Maybe we could kind of rotate.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That would be really
We
fun.
could be the only 3-person team in pickleball tournament history.
I'm not a great athlete, though. I've told you guys this.
You are too a great athlete.
Would you guys be disappointed if I caused a loss?
No.
No, of course not. We're hoping to lose miserably.
No. Okay.
I don't want to stick around there all day.
Get to go home early.
That's true. Yeah, if we win, we got to be there for the award ceremony.
That's true.
I bet you're a much better athlete than you give yourself credit for. Again, it's pickleball. How great of a friggin' athlete do you have to be?
We'll put you up front. You're so tall. I mean, you can just swat them all down.
I've never played pickleball.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, I've played 5 times,
Yeah.
so it's not like I've
not
got
a
a lot of
pro.
experience, and Nick never plays either.
But I'm naturally good enough to make up for either one of your shortcomings.
There's still availability if you want to get a team together for the second intermediate level. That starts at 2 and ends around 4. 8:15 registration for the beginner level, which is where we're at. 93X, Drop Shot Cancer, and the Randy Shaver Cancer Research and Community Fund want to thank Drop Shot Pickleball, of course, Culver's of Shakopee, Belltone Hearing Centers, Coffee to Cream, Bill's Taggery, and Dalen Sign Company for all of their generous support.
I'm looking forward to someone shredding a tendon or something. I don't even care if it's me. You know what I mean? That's what
I hope it's not you.
That's what I want to see.
I want to see some of the bitterness between people taking this charity event far too seriously.
Do you think it'll be Randy?
It's his event. I don't know. He's well behaved.
That's true. If it wasn't his event, I could see him blowing up.
Like we just covered.
He's super competitive.
He's an easy candidate for something like that because of his competitive nature. But I want to see somebody's groin or something lock up. It's okay if it's me. But that's what I am hoping for at this deal.
Well, I will say, again, I've only played a few times, but the times I have played, you see a nut shot every time. Every single time somebody takes it in the crotch, which is entertaining. And my kids they're going to be playing. The older kids are going to be playing, so that'll be a lot of fun.
That's great.
Jimmy Fallon has Tina Fey tonight. Robert Downey Jr. will be on Jimmy Kimmel. Seth Meyers has Wyatt and Kurt Russell.
Who is Wyatt Russ? Must be Kurt's son?
His son, yeah.
He's also an actor?
Yes.
You've seen him in this and that?
I forget what I've seen him in, but I know I've seen him.
I didn't know he had an acting son.
Yeah.
He's Kurt Russell and Goldie
Hawn's son, yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Well, Jesus, I could talk all day about Goldie Hawn. I didn't know he had that they had a son involved in, does he play Shoresy?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, he doesn't play Shoresy?
Completely different guy.
Okay, because I love Shoresy.
Shinedown singer Brent Smith is 46. Jermaine Clement, the taller half of the comedy duo Flight of the Conchords, 50. Pat Benatar, 71. George Foreman, 75. Rod Stewart, 79.
Oh, my God.
And that's 93X News.
Please welcome people's sexiest man alive, Mr.
Randy Shaver.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, Mike Conley found him on the pick and roll.
Man, that's how you detonate at the rib, baby.
Wolves bench pointing at Mo Wagner. Well, they are really letting him hear it. Karl Anthony Towns got up and threw it down.
All right, here they are, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Word up.
Good morning.
Morning.
Randy and Brad, I'm sure you can imagine the joy and the excitement when Josh and I looked up from our miserable show prep at around 5:30 this morning to see Janel Klein walk through the door.
Wow. She was there at 5:30?
We thought she was
Brad
lost.
Ryder. That's
What
right.
a vision. What a vision.
And it wasn't even a walk of shame. She got up early to come in here.
That was my next question. Was she just getting home from the bar?
No.
Wow.
It wasn't one of those deals where she's been up all night and she's
Just
looking.
passing through?
Yeah.
Needed a bathroom stop on her way home?
Right.
I'm wondering if you guys get this. Friends, anytime I get a text, like 3-something in the morning, it's from friends who are never up at that time, and they think, who's the only person I know that's awake? And then they'll text me about their night.
It wasn't a situation where she's looking for a place to crash after a long night of drinking.
Right.
She woke up at 4 in the morning to get ready to come on into the show and spend the entire day with us. We're shorthanded here. Dana and Ashley ran off to get married or something. I don't know. But they're both sick, actually. So Janelle, nice enough to come in and lend us a hand. It was a beautiful thing when we saw her skipping through the front door this morning.
I'm sure she was skipping through the front door.
She actually was.
Yeah, she was.
Day one, it's always okay. It's day two when it starts to sink in.
Right.
That's when the misery really begins.
We were even commenting about how right from the get-go, she's just Janelle.
She dressed up. She made that mistake, got ready before everything.
She can flip a switch. She don't need to be warmed up to good times like you two old farts.
Janelle, I think this demands a raise.
Oh, me too, Brad. Me too.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to double it.
Yep.
Double it up.
Whatever you're getting, we're doubling it.
Yes.
So this has been just a hell of a deal. And we were talking with Janelle, Randy Shaver, about your pickleball event.
Okay, good.
Coming up on the 20th of January in Shakopee. Can Janelle come?
Sure.
Because she was lamenting the fact, and now Brad will probably have a comment too. She was lamenting the fact that she wasn't invited.
Well, everybody's invited.
Yeah,
you can
I wasn't
sign up
invited
to play.
either.
No, that's not true. You can sign up to play if you'd like.
Wait a minute, I wasn't invited either.
Oh, God, Wobble. Jesus.
Let's keep this exclusive. That's my anniversary. I'm trying to get some me time.
Hey, Wapple, you're invited. We're playing the event in Forest Lake.
Oh, great. I'm from there.
So
what's the date of this again?
January 20th.
I believe that is Paul Stanley's birthday. I believe I'm correct about. And folks can show up and sign up early. Okay, that's cute and everything, but I think Janelle kind of wanted to play.
I think there's still spots available.
Do you have a mixed doubles category?
You can do. There's not a category like that, but anybody can. You can have a mixed doubles team.
Janelle, do you want to go?
Yes, let's do it, Brad.
Okay. Oh my gosh!
I think Randy saw my golf game over the years at his golf tournament, and he's
I've
like,
seen
"No."
Brad's too, so yeah, I think you're both in the same category.
He doesn't want us near him, Brad.
Well, I think we all know that if we're going to direct any angry comments towards this event, we should direct them to Randy's old lady. She's the one in charge.
Right, exactly.
Right. I don't know why we're coming down on Randy.
That's right. I got nothing to do with it.
No, he's got nothing to do with it.
I had to tell Randy he was a part of this.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I had no idea we were doing it till Josh told me.
Well, he's like, how the hell did you know? What your wife told me.
There's no communication in my house. I don't know what's going on.
Coming from someone who was formerly invited, Brad and Janelle, why don't you guys go ahead and show up? We'll squeeze you in there summers. It'll be fun.
Okay.
I'm going to try, seriously.
Yeah.
Janelle, I'll text you after the show about this.
Let's do it, Brad.
You guys should contact Roseanne. I'm sure there's spots left. There's a fee,
What?
So maybe 93X will pick it up for you.
Yeah.
Janelle,
and maybe they'll send a limo to my house to bring me, too. Maybe that'll happen, too.
Yeah, Randy, Randy, Janelle, or Brad, Janelle. I'll get there at some point. Do you have any comments on that, on the open checkbook from 93X?
Yeah. Like I said, maybe they'll send a limo for me, too. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Randy's pretty cold-blooded when he wants to be. Well, it's just a magical day is all it is. We'll get this pickleball drama straightened out. But it's a magical day having Janelle here with us from the get-go.
Yeah.
So
to get Nick to do it, I couldn't tell him two things. I couldn't tell him what time it started. And I also, and you see, luckily he doesn't ask a lot of questions at first.
No, I don't, especially when you're the one who's, filling me in on my plans because I trust you like I've trusted no other.
And I knew not to tell you it was in Shakopee.
Yeah, I mean, what time do we got to show up?
8:15.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, my God. Stop crying.
On a Saturday?
Already? We've already won game one now because you're crying already.
He doesn't like to go south of 62. So you're going to be going up.
8 o'clock in the morning and in Shakopee? That's stupid.
Oh, my God.
No.
No, wait a second. I'm confused. It's not in Forest Lake.
No, I was kidding. We want Wapple to go to Forest Lake.
No, Brad, it is. It's in Forest Lake.
Brad, go to Forest Lake.
And Randy, don't take this personally. Just pass this information on to your wife. Anything earlier than 10 a.m. on a Saturday and anything south of 62 is stupid.
Well, it's not even before 10 a.m. because in the past, when I used to play a little more pickleball with Dr. P, a regular doctor guest of ours, I would ask Nick, hey, we're going to go play on Saturday. You want to go? And he'd think, what time? Like noon? Think, no. I'll be at a bar stool
I've got
breakfast.
a solution. Since 93X's checkbook is so wide open, Nick, just get a hotel room in Eden Prairie the night before.
Stay
and
with
then
me.
then you don't have to get up quite as early.
Hey, here's the thing, Brad Ryder. 93X will give me any damn thing I want. I'm not you. All right. They'll give me any damn thing I want.
That'd be adorable. Josh and Nick at a sleepover, and then they wake up early.
Yes, and they come over together.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, Nick tells the story.
Go get a little continental breakfast in the hotel lobby.
That is about the cutest thing I've heard all day.
It is fun.
Spending the night
I'm
at
the little
Cubby's
spoon, as you can imagine.
Maybe I should come over and crash at your place so we're
That'd be
closer. I can't believe you bought a home that close to Shakopee.
Well, it's really not that close.
Egan really isn't that close to Shakopee.
It's not very, but compared to what you've got going on, it'll save you a few minutes.
We've spent the night together before.
You've told this story many times. I'm surprised they don't remember.
When we were in the hotel?
Yeah.
Jesus criminy.
It was a while ago, but you've mentioned it before.
We used to, of course, do a lot of trips with the radio station. Forced trips. We never wanted to go on any of these. It's a true story. It's true. Neither one of us cares at all about tropical islands or travel or anything like that. I couldn't give a rat's ass if I never saw a beach outside of Lake Minnetonka for the rest of my life. But years ago, they'd send us to these stupid places like Jamaica and the British Virgin Islands and all these. It was awful. So we would bunk together. We would room together in a hotel. And one night, Janelle, there goes that friggin' feedback.
You got to go straight ahead.
That's so my problem.
One night in a hotel, Josh and I were spending, this trip together in the same hotel room. I was snoring so badly that Josh finally said, "You know what? Forget it." And he got up and he got in the other bed.
You'd understand if you heard it.
Is that still an issue?
I don't know. I love that joke. It always it seems to lose people. It seems to lose people.
You see, it was so loud, Janelle. I had to get out of bed with Nick and go to the other bed. That was readily available the whole time.
Someone's asking me if I'm going to play in flip-flops at the...
I hope so.
I have tennis shoes. This listener's saying, is Nick going to play in flip-flops since he doesn't believe in tennis shoes? Now, you have to understand something. I believe in wearing tennis shoes when you're playing basketball or anything on a court, and that includes pickleball. This person is referencing my dislike for the look of tennis shoes on a grown person. I've expressed that on the air before. I think when grown people wear tennis shoes just in their daily activities, it makes you look like a 12-year-old. That's just my...
That's all I do, though.
Well, then you look like a 12-year-old. But I can play in flip. Well, my very first time playing pickleball, I played in flip-flops. I could do it if it means that much to you. All right.
Drop shot pickleball. To answer some questions coming in. Where's this? Drop shot pickleball in Shakopee.
Yes.
The 20th of January. How do you call it? Somewhere's around 8 o'clock in the morning. You can. Randy said you can show up and sign up.
Well, I didn't. I don't know if I said that.
I thought you said that.
I think you have to sign up through our website.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and there's the teams, at least the last I heard, it's for the second intermediate level.
Yeah.
Is what they're looking for teams.
This event is really gone pretty well. We're almost sold out. We're getting there.
Right.
And for the first time ever doing this, it's going to be kind of fun.
Sorry I blew up. Look it up online and see how you can get involved. But I certainly hope that Brad and Janelle can...
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
If you guys decided to join us.
We'll have plenty more jaw-jacking on this. We got 10 days to go until this wicked showdown takes place. All right, you heard the audio there in our intro with the Timberwolves last night. They more or less pumped the Orlando Magic in Florida. You heard audio of Karl Anthony Towns' poster dunk over Mo Wagner.
Is that a new phrase? I see it all the time now, and I don't remember hearing poster dunk.
Oh, no, it's been around for a long time.
Has it? Oh,
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, posterizing somebody. Posterizing.
Yeah, I see that a lot now.
I think I think that maybe it started in the 80s, but anyway, that was a great dunk. The video is a lot of fun. The Wolves were kind of being dicks about it, and I like that.
That's okay. I'm with you on that.
It's time for us to be dicks.
Yeah, it's been a long time. We were on the other end of that for so many years.
And here's what I mean by that. If you watch the video, Karl gets a great pass from Mike Conley. Doesn't even have to dribble, perfectly in stride, and just throws down this wicked dunk in this Wagner kid's face. And then every member of the Wolves bench pointed at Wagner as he walked back to the bench, because they called the timeout. Pointed directly. It was really kind of disrespectful and rude, and I loved every second of it.
You can check that out on 93x.com.
Appreciate that, Womble.
Yeah.
The only reason I liked it is because he's from Michigan, so I hate Michigan. So I loved it.
So you didn't have a great time the other night watching the football game?
Not at all. I hated it.
I'm with you, Brad Ryder.
Can't stand them.
I'm with you on that take. Karl had a great game.
This game was over from the beginning.
Oh, they had a lot of piss and vinegar last night, didn't they, Randy?
This game was over from the very beginning. Finch was able to play virtually everybody on his roster last night. It just was a butt kicking from the very beginning, and so yeah, you got to have games like that once in a while. It just kind of.
You also got to have games like that when you're on a long road trip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they were running hard last night, cutting to the basket.
Yep.
I mean, they had a lot of fire in them. I love to see it. Even Rudy Gobert took a jump shot last night. That's, I think, how...
That's how comfortable they're feeling right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you don't ever see Rudy... I mean, I saw one jump shot attempted by Rudy Gobert last night. Maybe there was more than one, but I only saw one. Of course, the ball barely grazed the front iron.
Yeah.
But he took a jump shot, and he had a great game.
This was a night where Anthony Edwards was basically nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
More turnovers almost than points last night.
Got into foul trouble right away.
Yep, was not a game in which he was going to be a factor. And sometimes in the past, in the recent past, when that's happened, the Wolves have not been able to respond. But they got a great game from Gobert. Towns was awesome. McDaniels contributed points as well as rebounds last night. And Mike Conley did Mike Conley things. He had 10 assists. So they were able to find a way to put it all together. And Reed was great off the bench. And Orlando just did not show up to play. They're not a bad basketball team. They're 21-16. This is not like playing Detroit. They're a good basketball team, but they just did not show up last night.
Here's a text message on tennis shoes from OG's Jesus. He says, "You wear tennis shoes? Who are you, Josh in mid-coitus?"
Oh, my God.
Josh often has his tennis shoes on when he has sex.
Well, that's not true. Socks,
just in case he has to run.
Socks, T-shirts.
Oh, that's right. I got confused.
Not tennis shoes.
But you do wear tennis shoes inside the house.
Yes, I do. It's life-changing.
One of the most interesting things about...
Well, I have indoor tennis shoes.
Yes.
Huh.
You make fun of me, but I've had listeners text and say, I used to think that was so stupid until I tried it, and now they're indoor tennis shoes.
Is that in case of a fire, Josh?
That is so bizarre to me that you wear...
These are my in case of fire shoes.
You wear tennis shoes inside the house. Personally speaking, the athlete's foot would eat my lower extremities completely off my body if I wore tennis shoes all around the house all day.
Well, we don't have a lot of carpeting.
No, neither do we.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Well, I remember carpeting at your place. Say, I don't know. That would make a difference.
Well, I don't know, half and half.
So if you're on the couch, Josh, and you kick your feet up, do you take your shoes off?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You got to play for Randy and Brad Ryder. You got to play the audio of the Toronto Raptors head coach. This is my new favorite head coach, outside of Sean Payton, of course. This is the head coach of the Toronto Raptors. He does not give a rat's ass about a fine or anything. He goes bananas.
It was a terrible call.
On the mic after a game against the LA Lakers about what he thought was favoritism by the officials towards the LA Lakers.
Outrageous. What happened tonight, this is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this. 23 free throws for them, and we get 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. Like, how to play the game. I understand respect for all stars and all that, but we have star players on our team as well. How's possible is Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force and trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get foul calls. He gets 2 free throws for the whole game. How's that possible? How are you going to explain that to me? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. Just give them a win. That was not fair tonight. And this is not happening first time for us. Scotty Barnes is going to be all-star. He's going to be the face of this league. What's happening over here during whole season, I've been holding it back. It's a complete crap.
This guy rules, man.
That's great.
It's a complete crap.
The Lakers shot 23 free throws in the fourth quarter of that game last night, and then there was a terrible call at the end that negated a three-pointer for Toronto. In the fourth quarter last night, the Lakers outscored Toronto 44-42. There were 86 points scored in just the fourth quarter of that game last night.
I didn't see it. But I've been saying this for years.
I love this guy.
I do too.
And his first name's Darko.
Darko. I don't know his last name, but I love him.
I think it's Reykjavik.
It's Riakovic.
Riakovic.
That's how they say it.
That's a beautiful thing. I hate to say this. I do, because I love the NBA so much. But I have been saying it for years, and I apologize, but the NBA officiating these days sucks. I know we've had this conversation before, and I think you guys disagree with me. The NBA officials suck.
No, I don't disagree with you. There is a lot of...
It's a hard job, though, too. I mean, I think you got to give them a little bit of grace.
There is a lot of favoritism toward the superstars. There's no question. There always has been.
It sucks. What else do I have?
Do you think that guy will be fined?
Yeah, think so.
That was such a beautiful thing. Just a beautiful thing. We talked yesterday about Ja Morant. So, did he hurt his shoulder working out in practice? It was.
I don't know. I did not see where the injury took place.
Okay.
I just know that he's gone. He's done.
The wording I saw was, where is it? Anyway, there's some wording in here about what he was doing when he hurt himself, and it led me to believe that it was practice or they were lifting weights or something. But if you missed it yesterday, Ja Morant, who just got back from his stupid suspension for waving guns around town, he just got back, playing well, team's getting better, but he tore his shoulder up, a partial dislocation of his right shoulder, and he's done for the season. But what I thought was interesting, he got on social media, and he only had 2 words to express his frustrations in learning that he's done for the season. 2 words. He simply posted on social media, "Damn, dog."
Yeah, it looks like it was during a training session, which to me means probably during lifting.
Yeah, it looks like during a practice on Saturday.
During a practice or while lifting, Wapple?
I've got a practice.
Practice? Okay.
From USA Today.
That weightlifting.
I just saw it during a training session, so.
I don't know why folks get involved in that weightlifting. You just tear things loose and you... We got a couple minutes here before we got to move on to a Pigs update. How about that big Iowegian basketball star Caitlin Clark getting her own cereal?
Not surprised.
The
she's a superstar.
Janelle, do you like to eat a big fat bowl of cereal sometimes before you get going with your day?
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah.
What's your damn favorite?
You know what I'm really partial to is Life.
I've never had it.
I love
I've never
Life
had
cereal.
it either.
Never had it.
Life cereal. Of
Yeah.
course, I've heard of it since I was a kid, but I don't think I ever had a bowl of Life cereal.
You're missing out.
I've had a big miserable life. My life has been a big bowl of misery. Life cereal.
Yeah.
Is that one of those you got to put like sugar on top of
No,
it too?
it's got some sugar in it. I mean, and then, you go back to like the ones you ate as a kid. Like I love Fruit Loops and I love Golden Crisp. Remember Golden Crisp?
Golden Crisp.
Golden Grams too.
Golden Grams. There's another one.
Yeah. Oh,
Oops,
windmill.
all
That's.
berries.
Pardon me?
Oops, all berries.
That brings something up. Okay, so Caitlin Clark is getting her own cereal with this NIL gimmick. She's just making money hand over fist. She's got all kinds of...
You know what? She should never leave college.
No.
She's making more money in college than she ever will.
I'm seeing stories that people from the WNBA are trying to casually court her to come because she can come out after this year. There's no way. There's no way.
Why would she leave? I mean, she is the greatest star in the state of Iowa.
Well, but
it's not even close, and she's making millions.
Well, but wait a minute now. Wait, time out. She's not going to make this same endorsement money as a WNBA player? Why not?
Nope.
I don't think so.
I don't
think there's enough money in it.
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about?
She's not going to be as well known and well recognized when she goes to the WNBA as she is here. Sorry, she's not.
Well, there's no
she's
reason
a face of college. She's a face of college basketball, and women's college basketball is more watched than the WNBA right now.
But so okay, I think she'll be just fine. I think she'll still make piles and piles of money.
Well, I mean, I think her personality is such that will transfer over to some degree. But I do agree with Brad. I mean, she has capitalized on the NIL like maybe no other player in college sports.
Okay, right.
I don't think there's another college player that I can think of, and maybe I'm missing somebody, who is as nationally recognized right now as Caitlin Clark.
There's no question about that.
She's earned every dollar of it. She is. She has proven that the NIL works across the board no matter what school you go to. Because if you can be that successful in Iowa, where there's, it's not like in Los Angeles or you're in New York City, you're in Iowa. And you are.
I guess I don't see the difference there. But
well,
all I'm saying is if she has one more year of eligibility left at Iowa, why would she not stay there and capitalize on this for one more year?
Sure, but what I'm asking you guys is, so you're saying when she goes to the WNBA that Gatorade and State Farm and Nike and Buick and they're not going to continue to pay her wads of money to do commercials and things like that?
They may do that, but I don't know. I mean, I think what Brad is the point he's making. At least I think he's making, is that in women's college basketball right now, she is the face. There's just no doubt about it. You go to the WNBA, there's a lot of other great players there that I'm not so sure she would be the face of the WNBA.
She'd have to win about 3 championships in the WNBA to become the face of the WNBA.
I think she's going to be just fine. Little Pigs update for you. The Pigs and Stars play tonight in Texas, the second half of a home-and-home type of deal for the two hockey clubs. Last time around, just this past Monday night, Dallas got the shutout. Before tonight's game in Dallas, there will be a brief on-ice ceremony recognizing Ryan Suter as the greatest defenseman to ever play the game of hockey. Hopefully they'll televise that part. This team could use a break or two. They could use a lucky bounce or two. Yeah. Tonight, the Muppet Show comes to Fridley, doesn't it, Wapple?
Yes, it does. We'll be out at Two Stooges from 6:30 to 8:30, giving away wild sweet tickets.
Game starts at 6:30 down there in Texas. And All-Star voting is happening now. You guys been making your All-Star votes just yet? You get online?
I have not started.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
But the Pigs have a campaign on Twitter to get Brock Faber into the All-Star game.
I think right now he is definitely the one player that deserves it.
So you're deleting, and that's not the word I was looking for, you're eliminating the Russian kid?
He's been hurt.
Oh, so we don't put the Russian kid in there? Okay.
He's been hurt.
Brock
He's
Faber.
one of the best defensemen in the league right now.
Yes. He's gone from like a relatively unknown player to like one of the best defensemen in the league.
Fair enough. They're posting a bunch of photos and videos of Brock Faber all over social media to get the hype going. So I guess think about placing a vote for the kid.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, by the way, while we're hanging around here, where do I have this information?
Our Wild tickets?
Yeah. Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text... Oh, my God. Did you see that they misspelled the text word, Josh?
I did. I hope they didn't screw that up in the text system.
Well, they want folks to... I wish I would have seen this earlier.
I think you spell it correctly.
Okay.
That's what you should probably do.
Text penalty. P-E-N-A-L-T-Y. Text penalty to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to the Pigs and the Flyers. Oh, God, that's this Friday.
Yep.
At the XL Energy Center. That prize is furnished by the Minnesota Wild. Again, text penalty to 651-989-9393.
Now, this isn't the word, but tell everyone what they put on our sheet.
They wanted folks to text penalty.
Again, you want to text penalty.
Penalty.
But they put penalty.
Sure.
And finally, in our Wild update, they got a home game next Monday against the Islanders. They're encouraging folks to bring various types of pet supplies to donate. Things like leashes, collars, toys, treats, and food. All gates at the X will have a collection box for fans to leave their donated items. Or, oh, by damn, you can just drop off some money. Coco's Heart Dog Rescue, located in Somerset, Wisconsin, will be the beneficiary of all donations made during the pet supply drive. That's a nice little gimmick there.
Sure. Don't bring your actual pet to drop off.
No.
Here's my salamander.
Yep. Here you go. I don't want my iguana anymore. Don't do that. That's not what they're asking.
Wouldn't that be something?
Goodbye, ferret.
See you later, boa constrictor.
Thank you again to Luther Kia of Bloomington for every damn thing in sponsoring our Minnesota Wild Report.
Well, speaking of hockey, we should talk about Louie.
You found out some bittersweet news from Lou Nanne, huh?
Yeah, Lou Nanne announcing last night that this will be his final high school state tournament that he'll broadcast. This will be his 60th and final year. It's funny, I was making fun of Louie when I talked to him last night because a year ago I did a story with Lou as he was going to head into his 59th season as broadcasting the boys state tournament, and he made the comment, which I actually used in my story last night, saying that he wanted to do the tournament for 9 more years,
right,
so that he could broadcast his great-great-grandson's game, assuming his son made it to the state tournament. That would make him 92 years old if he was going to do that. Well, that all changed, according to Lou, last year, the Thursday night after the first state tournament. I don't remember the weather at that point, but apparently we had a snowstorm. And as Louie was driving home at 11:30 that night after night one of the state tournament, he got a flat tire and nowhere to stop, no one to help him. He's 81 years old without a coat. He drove 12 miles on a flat tire and said to himself, what in the world am I doing?
Right.
I'm 81. I'm in Minnesota driving in a snowstorm. That's when the light went on and said, you know what, Lou, it's time to walk away. So,
well, good for him.
He made the announcement.
You know, it's been an incredible run. We will have, I'm sure we'll have a great time hearing and seeing Lou during this year's state tournament, and we'll try to enjoy it and savor it as best we can because
he is the best.
It will be bizarre to not hear his voice involved in that tournament, and he is probably Minnesota's finest hockey icon.
Think about this. He started doing the boys state tournament when he was 23 years old, just finished his career with the Gophers, before he even became a North Star.
Right.
Before he became a North Star player, he was doing the state boys tournament in one way or another. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll look forward to this year's tournament so we can get a big dose of sweet Lou before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Now I really regret the way we used to taunt him back in the day. I do. I regret when he was GM in the North Stars. And I've told this story many times when he was GM in the North Stars and he didn't select Pat LaFontaine in the draft in 1984. And my buddies and I were so pissed off that he didn't draft Pat LaFontaine that for a stretch of time, whenever we'd see Lou on the sidewalk, we'd all walk behind him chanting, LaFontaine! What a bunch of dicks we were. I regret it. He's such a wonderful guy. I'm sure he forgave us years ago. Drafted Brian Lawton, for Christ's sake.
I drove through St. Francis a couple weeks ago, and I actually thought about Lou when I drove through St. Francis because of how he would say that.
Ron Francis?
Yeah. St. Francis.
Ronnie Francis.
Yeah.
When he was calling the North Stars Penguins final in 91. What was the good line again? Soon as Bob Gainey thought that Bob Johnson put out the Ronnie Francis line, Bob Gainey put out the Bobby Smith line, so we match up Ronnie Francis and Bob Smith on the face-off. God, those were wonderful days. And again, I'm sorry that we were dicks on the sidewalk chanting LaFontaine. Let's switch over to football real quick before we get the hell out of here. Lady down in Jacksonville, Florida. She got drunk and crashed her effing car smooth into the Jacksonville Jaguars practice headquarters Monday night. And the article that I read sold this as a disgruntled fan type of a thing.
Yeah, supposedly she did it on purpose.
That's what the cops are saying.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
That we have finally hit rock bottom when it comes to our sick obsession with the NFL here in America.
Imagine the frustration, though, being a fan of that team. They were on their way to winning that division and just completely imploded during the final 4 weeks of the season to the point where they didn't even make the playoffs because they were so bad at the end. That's frustration.
This lady, because of the performance of her favorite stupid NFL team, she just couldn't handle the disappointment.
What did she think would happen if she ran her car? Like, would they shut down the team?
Don't know. She's drunk.
Oh, man.
But to think that someone would act like that because of their NFL team's performance, that might be the final sign that maybe the NFL should just wrap it up. Let's just close up shop for good. This is beyond pathetic. Grown folks just aren't the same anymore. For whatever reason, grown folks just... Yep. These days, they can't handle disappointment the way we used to be able to.
That's true.
It's the saddest thing.
I totally agree with you.
It's obvious.
Yes.
It's everywhere. Why grown people can't handle your average life disappointments and shortcomings without coming uncorked, I don't know what the problem is.
I think thinking with reason has left a lot of people.
You're right. You're right.
You know, just taking a breath and thinking about the consequences, or just, understanding that life's going to be fine if you don't drive your car through the Jacksonville headquarters.
You can't win all the time.
People in general just feel more entitled today.
You can't win.
Well, I think that's part of that generation, though, too, right? I mean, that's just my opinion.
No. I'm with you boys all the way. So the Jaguars missed the playoffs, and that was just too much for one woman to bear. She had to crash her car into the... All right, this article here...
So when you and Josh lose in pickleball, I don't want you to drive your car through drop shot because you're so upset.
It's not their fault.
It ain't going to happen. What I'm going to do is get online and verbally attack some strangers. That's what I'm going to do. For their political views.
Will you be an expert on things you know nothing about?
Oh, will I? I know everything. All right, this article from Yardbarker is massive, but I thought it'd be fun for us. The subject is, what was going on in the world the last time the Detroit Lions won a division title? The Lions just won their first divisional title since 1993. So,
yeah,
I'm not going to cover anywhere close to everything that the article mentions, but we can go somewhere with this because... although it feels like yesterday to some of us, 1993 was a hell of a long time ago. So here's what was going on in 1993. Number one, the NFC North didn't exist.
Right.
Detroit and the Vikings and Tampa Bay and Chicago and Green Bay in those days played
Central
in the NFC Central. 1993. Some of this is sports related. Some of it is, a lot of it is sports related. A couple of future Hall of Famers joined the Kansas City Chiefs in 1993. Do you remember who they were?
Christian Okoye?
No, you son of a bitch. 1993. One was a running back, one was a quarterback. Go.
Joe Montana?
Joe Montana and?
Roger Craig? No.
Marcus Allen.
Marcus
Allen.
Remember I told you the story about a guy I went to high school with who was going to college at River Falls. And
that's where the Chiefs used to train.
And the Chiefs had their summer, what do they call it again? Training camp.
Yeah.
And so he volunteered to be a towel boy. A lot of the students there would, well, not a lot of them, but a handful of students at River Falls, when the Chiefs would start their training camp, they would say, hey, well, I live here and I'll help be a water boy or whatever during so this guy I went to high school with volunteered and he got a role in the locker room with the Chiefs after practice. He'd hand him a towel or whatever, and he was relieved of his duties when he loudly called out the size of Marcus Allen's penis while in the locker room. True story. Marcus Allen walked out of the shower and my buddy couldn't help but say, oh my God, look at that.
Oh boy.
In 1993, Drew Bledsoe was the first overall pick. Jerome Bettis was the Rookie of the Year. Emmitt Smith won his only MVP and then also was the Super Bowl MVP. Haven't heard that name in a while. What did I just... Jerome Bettis. Haven't heard that name in a long time. Baseball... What's that?
The bus.
The bus.
The bus. Baseball came to Colorado and Florida in 1993. Major League Baseball.
Yes. Wasn't that the year the Mall of America opened? Either 92 or
92, I think.
92?
Yeah, because it was I graduated in 93, and I think it was my junior year of high school when it opened.
Okay.
I remember the first day I went to the Mall of America. I had terrible diarrhea.
Oh, no. Well, there's a lot of bathrooms there.
You got to break in one of the stalls.
The first time I went was to meet guitar legend Joe Satriani.
Joe Satriani.
I waited in line, and it was worth it.
Surfing with the Alien.
Yeah.
Was one of his big records. Yeah, me and my buddy Mac, I don't know, it was only a handful of days into the existence of the Mall of America, and Mac called me up. He said, "You want to go to the mall?" I said, "Yeah, I'll go to the mall." And I was so excited to look at this and that, and then I caught diarrhea on the way there, and I just I spent the whole day pinballing in and out of the men's rooms. It was terrible. So the Colorado Rockies and the Florida Marlins started up in 1993. There was a great World Series in '93. That's when Joe Carter hit the walk-off homer over the Phillies off
the
of
Toronto Blue Jays.
Off of don't tell me Mitch Williams.
Yes.
The Chicago Bulls won their third title in a row. Who gives a rat's ass? Shaquille O'Neal was the NBA Rookie of the Year in 1993.
It's crazy that I'm assuming you looked at the picture they included there.
No,
How
I
different
didn't.
he looks.
Oh, he's so thin.
Yeah, look at it. He just doesn't look like the same guy.
He was so young and so thin. I think I could even tell you who's guarding him there. God dang it, let me see that picture again. Is that Kiki Vandeweghe? Anyway, there were 2 tragic deaths in the NBA in 1993. Can you boys remember that?
Len Bias?
No, 93's Len Bias was 89 or 93. One was a car accident, one was a sudden heart issue.
Gosh, I don't know.
Drazen Petrovic died in a car wreck. Reggie Lewis collapsed and died from an underlying heart condition. That was just the saddest thing. Both of those stories were so terrible. 1993, a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup final. That was the last time a Canadian team won the Cup, when the Canadians beat the LA Kings. And then there was also really bad news in the NHL in 1993. We were just talking about the North Stars.
Yeah.
That was the year they moved down to Dallas, son.
Yep, that was bad.
Lou Nanny. Speaking of Lou.
Norm Green sucks.
Yeah.
You still see those T-shirts sometimes.
I still have a little mini megaphone that they handed out at Met Center.
Yep.
And it says, it's got a cartoon of Norm Green looking evil. And it says Norm Green sucks. And you were ordered when you walked into the rink to use that megaphone to holler that at him. Up in his little luxury suite, and boy, we did. So what else happened? The Ottawa Senators and Tampa Bay Lightning entered the league in 92-93, and then in the beginning of the 93 season, the Panthers, the Ducks came along, and the North Stars went to Dallas. The first UFC event happened in 1993. I never really became a big fan of the UFC. I watched a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Never really got dialed into it, but that was when they started off. They've been on a hell of a run. How about the tragic story from tennis in 1993 involving a famous female player? Anyone remember that one?
I don't.
Was that the Monica Seles?
Stabbed?
Or
you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Steffi Graf.
Oh, sure.
Steffi Graf was on. She's one of the greatest of all time. She's playing a tennis tournament in Hamburg, Germany, or some godforsaken place, and some nut job jumps onto the court and stabbed her.
Yeah, she was like sitting down at the bench. I remember that.
God dang. All right, now some non-sports stuff. 1993, the last time the Lions won a division title, Steven Spielberg had maybe the best year of his career. He dumped Jurassic Park and Schindler's List on us. So one of those won. Jurassic Park became, at least for a stretch of time, the highest grossing film ever. And then Schindler's List won Best Picture and Best Director. There were sad deaths in Hollywood in 93. River Phoenix, drug overdose. Only 23 years old. He checked out. Brandon Lee. The son of, I want to say Carl Lee, but that's incorrect.
No, Bruce Lee is the correct answer.
Carl Lee played for the Vikings. Quite a difference between Carl Lee and Bruce Lee.
Right away, I pictured Carl Lee playing cornerback for the Vikings. Right. Number 39, by the way.
That's right.
And his counterpart was Audrey McMillan, number 26. But anyway, Brandon Lee's son, a malfunctioning prop gun killed him. And that was when he was filming the movie The Crow. Never saw it, but everyone went out to see The Crow. because of this tragic story.
Yeah, I watched, not necessarily a documentary, but it was like a little 20-minute video on that, talking about kind of what happened and how
unbelievable,
how crazy that was.
ESPN.
He was good in that movie, The Crow.
Was he great?
Yeah.
ESPN 2 debuted in 93. In my opinion, the best spin-off television show of all time, Frasier, debuted. Oh, that show's so... And the character, one of my favorite television characters, Frasier, Kelsey Grammer, brilliant. The X-Files started in 1993, Josh.
Yeah, one of my favorite shows.
Were you hooked right from the get-go?
Absolutely.
Brad, Randy, Janelle, did you watch the X-Files?
Never really got into
it, but I loved Frasier.
Yes.
What did you watch on television in 1993? Janelle, was it also because in 93...
Sesame Street?
Because in 93, Beavis and Butthead also debuted.
Oh, my God.
Yes. We've
Al,
talked about that before.
Big Al and I watched the balls off of Beavis and Butthead. We couldn't
So
get
did
enough
I.
of it. Oh, my God.
I love that show.
What did you watch in 93, Janelle?
I've told you this. I don't even think we had cable TV when I was growing up. I'd never watched any TV. Why do you think I'm such a loser?
You are not a loser.
We didn't have cable until I moved out. I bought cable, and then my parents got it shortly afterwards, which was kind of BS.
To spite you?
I don't know. And then they started going to restaurants. They changed.
Oh.
Well, now, what were you, like 3 years old in 1993?
You know what I remember is like we had the antenna. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So did we.
But
Sure.
honest to God, I wasn't even home. I remember just playing with the kids in my neighborhood. We never watched any TV.
Well, let me tell you this. If your TV had color, then you had one up on the Bourne family.
It had color.
My poor sister, she was the person we'd have to tell to hold the antenna in certain places. And she was the remote control.
Right.
Can you lift up your arm?
Oh, man. And she was also the remote. Rachel, turn it to Channel 9.
Finally,
my dad used to make me do that all the time just for fun, not because it helped the TV.
Oh, just because he could boss your ass around.
Exactly.
You'd be putting tinfoil on your head. There were some great television shows that ended in 1993. Doogie Howser, MD. I don't know why that's included in the list. Wasn't that just a joke kids show, Doogie Howser, MD?
It was popular.
Okay, Quantum Leap came to an end in 93. The Wonder Years and...
Good shows.
Speaking of Frasier, Cheers came to an end in 93. Are you ready? I'm going to do my Cheers final episode imitation. You guys, turn the music down. This is going to be good. Sorry. We're closed.
Nice job, Sam.
Yeah.
Very good. Nice job.
I tried to get a round of applause going. No one followed my lead.
Nice
I
job,
like that you
Sam.
started it.
I know. The biggest song in 1993 was what? Go ahead, Brad Ryder. You're the music guy on this show.
Oh, I'm not sure that I am.
The biggest song of 1993.
Too bad Dana's not here. He'd know this one.
Give me the artist.
I'm not going to tell you the artist. It's too obvious if I tell you the artist. I'll give you a hint. It's about anal sex.
Oh, that helps.
We've heard it's about pegging.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
pegging
It's about pegging specifically. Josh is right. He's not joking.
It doesn't necessarily look like a rock star.
Doesn't necessarily look like a rock star, the guy who sang it. It's about pegging. He's dead now, this guy, and it had nothing to do with pegging. At least I didn't hear it had anything to do with.
His name is a food.
Yeah.
Name is a food. Huh.
All right, it's Meatloaf. I'd do anything for love, but by God, I won't do that.
Okay.
That was the biggest song of 1993.
That's about pegging, huh?
Yeah.
That's what we've heard.
That's a true story.
People
it really
say
is.
it's about pegging.
It is. Meatloaf said it. Meatloaf said it was about pegging.
Oh, my God.
He was with his woman at the time, and they were trying to sort out what they were going to do sexually that night, and she said, how about I, blast you upside down with this pegging bit? And he said, I'll do anything for love, but by God, woo, I won't do that.
My guess was going to be Rump Shaker.
Rump Shaker by Rex and Effects.
Right. Excuse me.
Another big song in 93 was Informer. You know, so Daddy Miss Snow, me, I go play One to the rock of the microphone, rock it steady. Yes, Daddy Miss Snow, I am the Article Don. And Andre the Giant died in 1993.
Wow.
Janelle, Informer, you didn't play that at house parties or anything?
Oh, don't know what you're talking about.
You son of a bitch.
You've really never heard that song?
No.
Too young, I guess.
God.
Look, we've gone way over time here, but who cares?
It was worth it, though.
It was.
Every minute was worth it.
I always love it when we get a chance to talk about the artist Snow and his hit single Infamer from 1993. You know, "So Daddy Me Snow Me, I Go Blame, a Licky Boom Boom Down." Other than just everything we've already mentioned, the record that came off of was titled 12 Inches of Snow.
Pretty sweet. Yeah, that noise you made, I bet when he looks back as an older man, he thinks the same thing.
You guys didn't know I could rap like that. We got to get going. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, bye, damn. It's been wonderful, and we'll talk to you soon.
Good luck, Janelle.
Thanks.
Janelle's sticking around. She's committed to this. She's sticking around.
We locked the door.
We'll be back in a few minutes. Bye, damn.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Get an inside look at Hollywood with Michael Rosenbaum.
Let's get inside of Jennifer Love Hewitt.
It's dangerous, I think, to say to women, you can't look like you're not 22 to me anymore because I don't know how to take that. Okay, well, that's your problem because I'm 44. This is what I look like. By the way, she was a looker. Like, congratulations to that 23 or 25.
But I'm a different person now.
You know?
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Wherever you listen.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, it's getting dark. We should probably start a fire. Man, how do we do that? Hey, do you think there's directions about starting fires in the song We Didn't Start the Fire?
I don't think so.
I better go through it all. Stuff and stuff, history and stuff, people, someone's name, history and sports. Okay, how's the fire coming?
Did it look at you? Did the fire look at you? It did.
Fire truck! Welcome back to the program with Janel Klein. And yes, we played 2 songs in a row, and everyone's texting in saying that I must have had to run off to the bathroom to poop.
No.
Not the case. We're hoping to remain on the air until 9 a.m., but no joke, there suddenly is an overwhelming smell in the building that leads me to believe that something is on fire.
And, you know, you might think, well, that's got to be a gross overreaction, but it's happened before.
Right.
Where our board has caught fire in the middle of a broadcast, and Janelle, it's probably you bring too much heat to the building.
Apparently.
It's got to be.
Is that how? That's how hot Janel Klein. I mean, honest to God, we, like Josh said, we've already survived one fire here in the 93X studios. I don't know if I'm built to make it through 2. But we played an extra song there because as we were kind of getting ourselves ready for our next on-air conversation, I just got hit right in the mug by the smell of smoke. Josh came over to my side of the room and said, oh, God, yeah. So we've spent the last 10 minutes or whatever, 5-10 minutes, running around the building trying to find the fire. So far, we found nothing. So if we suddenly go off air or if we have to run screaming for our very lives, please understand something's going on around here.
Yeah, Nick's not wrong. It's a massive building. And I ran around it. We share this building with KQRS and Love 105, and I warned the Love 105 people there could be a fire in the building.
Mm-hmm. Tell everyone, Josh, about our last fire. How long ago was that now? Was it a year ago?
It was last year at some point.
Last year.
Suddenly, Janel Klein, smoke, if I remember correctly, started to billow out the soundboard that your little buddy Wapple sits in front of.
Did it smell just like this?
Oh, it was way worse because it was like a plasticky, poisony smell. It was terrible.
Yes, it was. It was almost where we got ourselves away from even breathing in the smoke. Somebody was smart enough to say right away, because we're all standing around like we know what we're doing, staring at this electrical fire as if, we could do something about. And somebody finally said, we probably should back away and stop huffing this. But we went off air. The station went off the air. It was a big friggin' dramatic thing. I was very excited because I was absolutely sure we were going to get 3-4 days work off because of, but no, they had the station up and running a couple hours later. We were right back to work the next day. It was so disappointing. That sadly, or maybe some would say sad, some would say cool. My first thought was, this is terrific. We're going to get some days off. But it didn't happen. So,
well, our engineer is too good. We've got the best engineer in the business.
He's a very skilled young man. We don't know if the building's on fire. We're going to keep on going, I guess.
It's better now. Whatever it was, but
maybe we're just used to the smell now. I don't know.
Because, I mean, technically, we've had 2 fires here. One was bad, and the second one was just the board that kind of got messed up.
Janelle, have you ever almost in your television career, you ever come close to, had any close calls while on the job? To where your life was possibly in jeopody? Because you report from things like tornadoes and typhoons or whatever, I don't know, hurricane. Yeah, anything that could be referred to as a close call?
Well, there are times now when I look back and think, why did I put myself in that situation? You know how like sometimes you look back on things you did when you were younger and you think, what an idiot?
All the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a regular reel that plays in my brain.
Sometimes I'll be driving home and think about the morning and go, oh, what an idiot.
Why did I say that, right? There have been a couple times when I look back and think I would never do that again. Like hurricanes was one. There was one, though, that actually I think we did take some risks we shouldn't have, which was we were at a ski resort in West Virginia, and we were basically stranded with no electricity and no food, and we didn't realize it.
What? How did you get stranded at a ski resort with no...
It was during Hurricane Sandy, if you guys remember that. And
no, I don't.
It was, so it's probably, that's probably 10 years ago. And anyway, they put us at the ski resort because part of the effect of Hurricane Sandy was this huge blizzard that was going to come in. And so they sent us to this ski resort. And I don't think they really realized how serious this was going to get. But essentially it was, kind of in this remote area of the mountains of West Virginia. And by the time they realized it, we couldn't get out and we lost power. And so, we had no food. We had no electricity for like a couple of days.
Really?
It was kind of crazy.
Did you come close to, possibly killing one of the other...
Cannibalism?
And then resorting to... Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you just kind of sat in the dark and starved for a couple days.
You know what's funny? So it was around Halloween. And so we had a lot of good jokes about The Shining. So that was funny. And
did you at least have any booze or anything to keep you entertained?
No booze, but I will say I brought Halloween candy for everybody, and so we basically lived off of Halloween candy for that time.
You're a good person.
Telling scary stories back and forth, eating Reese's Pieces and praying for a rescue.
Yes.
And how long were you there again? I'm sorry.
It was a couple days of that. Yeah.
By the time it was over, you had a full beard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, oh, wow.
Anyway, no fires, though. This is a first. And you know what's funny? Josh came in here, and I was like, what? I don't smell anything. I would have burned alive, and you guys would have all ran out of the building because I didn't smell it.
We've been abandoned in a fire before, so we know that feeling.
Is there something wrong with your olfactory system?
Yes, I don't know. I didn't even know there was
Josh,
wrong.
Talk about when we were abandoned during, because he's right. Okay, so we've got this current fire happening. Where it's happening, we don't know, but we can smell smoke. We had the one a year ago where Wapple's board caught on fire, and I thought we'd get some time off, and we didn't. There was one prior to that where we were left for dead.
Yeah, that was a legitimate fire where the fire department came out. And we'll have to explain why a lot of the office people embarrassed us that day. But so at that time, for whatever reason, the fire alarms would just go off. They would just, for whatever reason, there was something going on. So it was not and in the studios, there's no sound, just the lights flash. So, and it would happen so much that we just ignored it because it was happening all the time. Well, this was after the show. It was maybe an hour after the show or so. We're in our studio, and they go off, so we ignore it like always. And then I left to go to the bathroom, and I realized, and this is before the reckonings, so there were actually people in the building before corporate came in and fired everybody. So right now it wouldn't be uncommon. But it was very strange that nobody was in the building. And it took me a second to realize, oh man, this might be a real fire.
Right.
And then I looked out front and I see everyone standing in the parking lot.
Fire trucks, are there.
There's fire trucks out front. And so I grabbed Nick. I'm like, I think this one's legit.
Right.
And all of a sudden we smell smoke, and the back of the building was on fire.
And no one came to get you?
No.
No one.
Nope.
And again, there's people everywhere. Not one person came to get us.
We were the last two swinging Ds to walk out the building, and no one expressed any real concern either when we made our way out the building.
No, not at all.
But like Josh explained, we were so used to the false alarms that when the fire alarm went off, we just kept doing what we were doing. Probably the closest I ever came to losing my life because of work. I mean, there's obvious, silly answers like, I partied myself. I drank way too much, and we took some chances at parties, just being wild and young. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about like a tragic, horrible. The closest I ever came was for so many years. We did that dopey outdoor concert out in Wisconsin, Edge Fest, X Fest. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are aware of our run of outdoor concerts there in Somerset. Sometimes they were fun, sometimes they were total misery. But anyway, so I was fresh off of one of those concert festivals. We had just gotten back in town from an X or an Edge Fest. I forget which it was. And during those 2-3 days, I hated these days, but I didn't have much of a choice back then. I was one of the radio dinks that had to jump on the tour bus with all the bands and give them a quick interview. And I hated doing it because, I'm sorry to say this, most of the bands had the personality of my nutsack. And a lot of them were very unknown, right? But we had to make like we were just wildly interested in all these little tiny bands. So I hated doing the band interviews, but all I did for 3 straight days was jump on and off these tour buses in the middle of a field in Wisconsin and interview these bands. So you're drinking and you're not sleeping well. So one day, I think after we got home from this outdoor festival, I had another assignment I wasn't crazy about. I had to go to First Avenue and interview the Offspring. And their tour bus was parked right on the street out front of First Avenue. So I go on the tour bus. I'm still tired from the weekend. I go on the tour bus. I give them, I'm sure, a very poor interview because I didn't care. And I was kind of lost in space. I was so used to stepping out of tour buses into an empty field. I stepped off of the Offspring's tour bus right into oncoming traffic in front of First Avenue. Are you picturing how that just completely spaced out? And I came very close to being run over by a garbage truck that was screaming down the street. And I thought to myself, that would have been the stupidest friggin' way to die. I mean, nobody should have to die at work, right, Josh?
No, we've always said, if one of us dies here, just drag us across the threshold, so it's not technically at work.
But again, like I explained, I was so accustomed to stepping off of these tour buses into a field. In this case, I stepped onto a busy. You should have seen the looks on the faces of the drivers as I just stepped right into.
Can you imagine if the last song you ever heard was Pretty Fly for a White Guy?
God, I don't even want to think about such a thing. I don't want to think about such a thing.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
She's a real monster. She is a menace to society. She's a master manipulator, and she should not be on the street.
True. This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Here's the deal. We're about smooth out of time here on our Wednesday edition of the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. When you think your building is on fire, you kind of lose track of time.
I didn't tell you this, Nick, yet, but so I was in the other studio, and because we have had the board and Waffle studio catch on fire before, I tried to open up the back. There's a big piece it's a big wooden furniture that contains this, and I tried to open up the back of it. And it's basically a flathead screwdriver, but you can use a dime, right, to get it open. So
Sure.
I thought, I'm going to look in there and see if something's melting like last time.
Yeah.
So Wapple earlier tells us he's carrying around a $100 bill earlier this morning, and he shows us he has a $100 bill.
Yeah.
So I said, does anyone here have any change? A dime would be perfect. Janelle has 3 pennies to her name, and Wapple across the board's got $100. That doesn't seem right to me.
The world is completely upside down.
Yeah, I thought that was the head scratcher over there. Not figuring out where that smell was coming from anymore. How does Wapple have 100 and you got 3 pennies?
No,
I don't know.
That doesn't feel right at all.
Just let me go up in flames.
Oh, man. Well, so all we really have time for is just to say adios and I guess ask Janel time. Janel Klein, what time we should expect to see her tomorrow?
I mean, anytime you guys want me to come in, I'm in.
Well, I know we'll be down Dana tomorrow and Friday.
Yeah.
And Ashley, yet to be determined.
You guys let me know. I mean, this was fun.
It was fun.
See you at 5:40 tomorrow.
Okay.
We got you now.
Yeah, sucker.
We got you now. Bring those 3 pennies in.
And you'll learn another 3. How about that?
Right.
For God's sake. Thank you very much, Janel.
Thanks, Janel.
you guys.
Beer and Pizza Jesus said happy birthday to her pops like a frickin' laser Jesus, and happy birthday to wife plowing Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.